triumph from a land within our imaginations. Bringing you these tales today is Nerida the Drowned.
Hello!
Cora Hilltopple.
I'm gonna dress up like a bad guy.
Harbakir Tul Middleek.
Hi. I don't remember the plan. I don't know what Cora's referencing.
Lost.
Sup?
Chance.
That didn't work out at all, okay.
And Welcome Woodbarrel.
Hello!
Thank you for being with us today to share in our tale. Here is what happened last time. Feeling the salt-laden breeze of Cragtooth Bay, the party makes their first foray into Port Greyshallow. As newly appointed Silverblades, they've been tasked to shore up the local Lithurian authority within the city, as many of the town's guard have been conscripted into the army. Sorry, something just unmuted randomly. As many have been conscripted into the army to combat the Tiberian incursion. Upon arrival, they met with Nana Trenoth, a dwarf and visor of Lithuria. Nana pointed our heroes towards the guardhouse in town. After some light shopping amongst the markets atop the dock streets, our heroes met Captain Evan Lordris at the guardhouse, and they discussed recent events in Port Greyshallow. Captain Lordris told the party that documents had gone missing as members of the town's guard left, and that he was the only remaining town's guard in Port Greyshallow. Guardsman Gregory and Guardsman Robinson, in particular, are suspected of working with the Syndicate in town, but have since left to join the Lotharian army. The party then went to Yoshimura's tavern to eat and take stock of the locals. There, Nerida bested the local champion in a test of strength known as hoisting, and became known as the Queen of Hoisting. Mysterious halfling had been watching the party since they headed towards Yoshimura's, and once chased down, he revealed that he was Welgwyn's father, Koiver. Koiver said that he was attempting to work off his debt to the Syndicate, and that there was a large shipment coming in a few days from the Concord of the Coast, laden with Syndicate contraband. Welgwyn was less than happy to see her father, who had destroyed her family with his gambling habits. Oh, and everything's screwed up. Welgwyn was less than happy to see her father, who had destroyed her family with his gambling habits, and sent him on his way after injuring him and gathering whatever information she could. From there, the party broke into Guardsman Gregory's house, where they found another note written in the familiar code used by the Syndicate. They returned to the guardhouse for the night and rested in the bunk room. During her sleep, Nerida had another dream she believes to be a message from Umberlee, hinting at the location of the Valley of the Nascent Tempest. In the same night, Lost was visited by the Dark Tiefling, who then drew the other members of the party into the conversation as well. He revealed that his master was Asmodeus, but that he was plotting against Asmodeus while working under him. The party seemingly has some role to play in his plan, but many members are hesitant to work with him. And that brings us to now.
You missed a crucial detail, which was
What's
the part
that?
when Alik bested the Hoisting Queen in Hoisting.
No, you lost.
I'm pretty sure Alik bested the Hoisting Queen in Hoisting.
You
Womp.
lost
Hoisting
pretty much
Queen,
immediately.
still
The Hoisting
You know, it's
Queen
been a few
destroyed
weeks, so
you.
maybe you're not remembering correctly. It's fine. We'll move on.
I remember exactly what happened, and we have a record of it if anyone wants to go watch
I don't
Alik
think we
be
need to look
utterly
into the record.
humiliated
It's
by...
fine. You're probably just misremembering.
I spun you around like a pretty...
It's true.
I've never
That
felt
is-
more beautiful.
That is exactly what happened. Your robes frayed into a frilly dress and splayed out as you were
Maybe salsa
spun.
dance.
Yeah, and then you salsa
Our three
dance
fans
the
wrote
night
many
away.
fanfics about it.
Yes, that's correct. Okay, that brings us to now. It is morning. It is, let's see, what is the date? 25th of Itra. It is Luma, the first day of the week. The sun breaks over the coastline, or over the hills, I guess, actually, at Port Greyshallow.
If I can recap, I think Cora wanted to dress up as one of the Syndicate and go infiltrate, but I think we decided against it because they all already saw us show up, right? I guess she's really good at disguise, so who knows? But
Yeah, so Captain Lordrus told you that the Syndicate... Oh my god, somebody keeps dropping. The Syndicate is pretty prominent in town since most of the town's guard have left, and so since you entered the guardhouse, basically as soon as you came to Port Greyshallow, you're likely blown, and unless you engage in some significant disguise, you're probably going to be well recognized by the Syndicate while here.
Maybe we should try to make contact with our tiefling thief friend, the girl who's, part of the underworld. Underground. Sorry, I keep saying underworld.
You certainly could. You remember that you remember that Koiver said that there is a large shipment a few days out. You could try to spend some days bringing order or investigating different things within Port Greyshallow. You could just do general police work. We can just kind of metagame it and do rolls to see.
Let's crack some skulls.
What you'd like to do. You could release the boot and stomp some faces.
I'm lost about cracking some skulls. That's a very Alik way to approach this.
What is it? We found stuff in the guardsman's house, right? I don't remember exactly what. Did we find the files that we were looking for?
You found a single note, and it is encrypted. I have it here. For any who are interested, I will increase its size.
Oh yeah, we found a couple of those notes. Are we able to determine the cipher based on all of those notes?
You could spend some time attempting to decrypt this and work out what the cipher may be.
Which is nobody should spend some time doing that.
It's too bad there's no wizard in this group.
Too bad. We just have a useless sorcerer.
Hey, if it wasn't a coded message, this would be so easy because I know all languages.
I know all the words.
If only you could encrypt or decrypt ciphers using charisma.
Right?
Slightly better chance at this.
Charm this puzzle into telling me the answer.
What if it's a cipher that was made by a cleric? Can we use wisdom there?
Honestly, holding this, you can't even tell which way is up and which way is down. Assuming it's written left to right, which it seems like it may be separated into words left to right. This seems the most obvious orientation. This side being down.
Did you forget to, Aiden?
Did I forget? No.
Yeah.
I know exactly what this means.
He's like, oh, maybe it's...
And I know exactly what the cipher is as well. But I would be shocked if you guys could figure it out. It's an incredibly complex cipher.
Great.
I mean, I see some repeating symbols. We haven't seen any other letters with these symbols on them, right?
You have the other note that was found.
Symbols?
It has similar symbols, yes.
Oh, okay. All right, I'm going to put them next to each other for ease.
Oh, that's probably not it, but it might be it. No, just making shit up.
God. Is this a letter for a letter? It looks like a letter for a letter.
I honestly, you could spend weeks IRL trying to figure this out, and I'd be shocked if you got it without actually, attempting to look up what this is.
Yeah, player knowledge. I feel like there's something of mirroring going on that we're gonna need, but whatever. All right.
I just take a nice long look at it and see if anything comes to Welglin's mind?
How
A dex roll?
long
Yeah.
would you be willing to devote to this? A
Well,
day?
then, why don't you look at this while we
Couple
check out the
hours?
seedy underbelly? You're not suited to the seedy underbelly. Delicate person like you.
Right. Well, are we doing anything else at the moment? I guess that is an element, because if we're gonna go do something, then probably not much time.
Well, I mean,
I think we're trying to fill a couple days till the shipment shows up is what's going on. So
But you also
me
don't
and
know
Locke
exactly
might be
what
out
day
cracking
that
skulls.
is.
Somebody else might not be cracking skulls.
I want to make a costume.
You want to make a
Sneak in.
costume, I heard.
Yes,
How-
I want to use my disguise and then spend some time establishing myself as a personage.
Okay.
We're gonna go for a
Um,
few days.
And what? So, how do you want to go about making this disguise?
Well, apparently I don't have the weird glove, so thieves skills?
You don't need the gloves.
Not the gloves, the thieves skill.
Oh, disguise? Isn't there like a disguise kit?
Yeah,
Do you have a disguise kit?
yeah. I guess
Okay.
I could go buy a disguise kit. I leveled up
disguise
and
kit.
got one. Well, so there you go. We have one in
The party has a disguise kit. But how do you want to fashion this disguise? Like, what do you want to disguise yourself as? You don't
someone other than myself, I guess.
just some random person.
Yeah, random person.
What kind of look are you going for? Do you want to look like a dock worker? Do you want to look like
Guess what?
some,
that
like a homemaker?
Gonna
Gonna look like a thief.
Scars. Look like someone who has not seen better days. Perhaps a dock worker when work gets bad, but otherwise, what?
Okay. So you want to disguise yourself as a dock worker.
Yeah.
All right. Roll. Let's see. What is it when you use a disguise kit?
D20. Add my proficiency because I am.
I think it's just
proficient in
D20 plus proficiency if you're proficient in the disguise kit.
such. Damn. And I think what I can spend extra time to make it more realistic, which is what we're trying to go for. Your checks.
Well, how long
As
do
a
you want to
thief?
spend?
Well, how long are we? So, how long is everyone doing the things to get a few days? I guess until I get the information as to when the shipment is coming in, and/or we just did otherwise.
Okay, we'll just roll to disguise yourself for now. We'll see.
So I'm not quite right in front of my computer with someone roll
Okay,
for me.
I'll roll. It's your proficiency is 4 now.
5 at level 10. Everybody, what's our proficiency? 4.
Four.
Okay.
I believe it's 4 at level 10. So that's 12 total. The disguise, while like passable, is a bit ugly and misshapen. You use like facial clay to, change the shape of your face and some light makeup and stuff to try to give you a little scar, but it sort of like hangs off a little bit. You get the feeling that on a close inspection, you may have to explain yourself a little bit. But you're passable as a dock worker.
I'm only going out during the night.
When it's dark.
Apparently, I've made a disguise. Yes.
Okay.
Nobody can see my full lit face.
What's everyone else doing on this first day? You're muted, Thomas.
I'm gonna spend my time with the cipher. That's
Okay.
where I'm at.
Does anyone else want to assist him in attempting to decode this cipher?
Gonna let somebody with some actual modifiers.
Yeah, I don't really.
Yeah, I mean, I could. I'm not sure what else I would do today, but I don't have anything to contribute really.
What is that
Skills-wise.
noise? Isaac, what the
Anybody
hell is that
have,
noise?
Air
Fortify
pump,
attribute or
sorry.
whatever it's called?
What'd you say?
Have what?
Sorry.
Enhance ability. Enhance ability would help.
Don't. I could if we were like, hey, tomorrow would you help me out with this? And I could be like, sure.
Yeah, that's kind of what I was thinking. Is I was probably going to take enhance ability tomorrow. But I thought
Gotcha.
if you had it today, then great.
Probably not, like, genuinely. I'm not sure what time of day it is when we got here. We slept or, like, whatever to have, like, planned that out for the day.
Right. Yeah, I think this is like midday at this point. Oh yeah. If we we probably would have had time to talk about that cipher before we went to sleep, right?
No, it was pretty late. I mean, you could, but it was pretty late by the time you got
Alright, that's
back.
fine.
I think
Well,
everyone
well,
decided to
maybe-
discuss it in the morning.
Maybe tomorrow it'll be a thing. Not today.
Yeah.
It's all right. I think I figured it out anyways. Or I've definitely not. One of
Do
the
we
two.
need, like, any more diamonds or anything? Or, like, other spell components?
And the place where we did hoist was at the Crosswinds, right?
No, it was at Yoshimura's.
Yoshimura's. Okay, even better. I'd like to go back to Yoshimura's to see if I can talk to the hoist guy about seedy shit.
Tybalt? Or the...
Tybalt.
Oh, the guy... No, the guy who was running it, or Tybalt?
No, the guy
Tybalt
who
was the
running.
champion. Okay.
I can go help with that, since maybe me being
That's true.
a cool hoistress would help out.
I'll come too. I like Yoshimura.
Yeah.
What's Lost up to?
Well, I was thinking about going to the cliffs, but everyone else is doing something different.
You could go to the cliffs.
I'm just gonna hang out and get drunk.
Split the party. Create.
As any good law
conflict.
enforcement officer does, you hang out in the guardhouse, drinking. All day.
Better yet, how about I just get drunk and then meander around town?
Jesus Christ.
Okay.
Great way to get kidnapped, Lost.
Yeah, this is. I can't see how we're gonna have this abused.
Okay, I want to get normal lost drunk, not what I did yesterday, lost drunk.
Okay,
Just taking the edge off lost drunk. I honestly,
Yeah.
I think it just kind of
Hangover recovery.
patrolling from a certain perspective, mostly wandering around. I'd be interested in doing.
Okay.
Getting to learn the lay of Port Greyshallow a little bit better.
All right, let's handle Alik. You're trying to decode this cipher. Roll
Yeah.
intelligence to try to decode it.
Can I be guidance? I have guidance.
You can,
actually.
yeah. You can
I'm
guide
guidance
yourself.
myself, I guess.
Yeah, roll to see if you can, first of all.
Okay. The last D20 is to see if I can. Oh,
You
I should've used
can.
it the other way. I got
You
a
should've.
-1 for if it's straight
Ooh.
hit. Oh no, that's +1. That's 9.
Okay. With a 9, you spend all day on this, and you determine that it's likely that this is the correct orientation, like this is the top and this is the bottom, and that these are separated into words. Maybe
Did
it's
I
some
figure
kind of
out that
list
the
or
first
something.
Little block corresponds to the number of like the cipher used to translate it or decode it or whatever.
You have no clue whether or not that's the
I
case.
was hoping you might give away something in your face, but that's okay.
Maybe I did.
You didn't.
You have no clue. The characters themselves are baffling to you. You try to like match up some of the characters, but then like other parts of the other words on the note are very confusing to you. And you can't seem to figure out any one-to-one matching necessarily. That takes you all day. It takes about 8 hours. The people going to Yoshimura's, you're just trying to see if the hoisting guy is there?
Yeah, just to be. I mean, I want to try to talk to him and see if he'll let us, like, tell us more about some of the more, dirty, dark shit of this. If he knows anybody at the docks and more about the corruption this area faces.
Wait, are we asking Tybalt or are we asking Yoshimura?
We're asking.
Tybalt was the hoisting champion until Nerida dethroned him.
Yes.
You don't know the name of the guy who was sort of like running the bets.
Yeah, that dude.
But you do know Yoshimura.
I would like to talk to Yoshimura about this stuff as well.
Okay. It's pretty early in the morning when you arrive. We'll say you got some breakfast at the guardhouse. Lordris left like little packages there for you. You see him down in the main hall as you exit. He's just like fussing with paperwork. It's like, I'll keep watch here. You guys do what you need to do. I trust you to maintain order in Port Greyshallow. You know, who better than the Silverblades? You head over to Yoshimura's, which is right nearby. Hardly a block away. On the dock streets. As you arrive, there are like carts of fish coming in and a few carts of like fruits and apples and spices and things like that. Although those are significantly more sparse. As out front, like directing people to bring them inside and taking stock of everything with someone who's there.
Ooh, is the oyster person there?
The oyster merchant does not seem to be here. Not the person you met in the stalls yesterday, anyway.
Hey, good morning, Yoshimura.
Ah, my friends from last night, and Welgwyn, good to see you again.
Good to see you, Yoshi. How's it going?
Going great. Last night was, you know, another typical Temnata. We're just partying all night mostly. I got to bed a little later than I probably should have, if you know what I mean.
Tell me about it.
Yeah.
Do you have any oysters inside?
The oysters should be coming a little bit later. We like to get them as fresh as possible, so...
Nice. Do you mind if we hang out
They
for
come
a while
midday.
while we wait for them to show up?
Sure, of course. Head on in and find a table if you like. Rusty's behind the bar.
Alright. I want to talk to Rusty.
All right, behind the bar is a half-orc who's somewhat slender for a half-orc, dressed in, like, decent, nice cloth clothes, colorful blues and reds. Very slightly ostentatious, but not gaudy.
Have I met Rusty before, or is he a stranger?
You vaguely remember Rusty. He
Alright. I want to pretend I know him super well and be like, Rusty, how's it going?
roll deception?
Okay. That's a 17.
Jesus Christ. Thieves.
Yes, hello. I'm sorry, I'm not terribly familiar with you, but you seem to know me.
Ah, that's okay. It's been a while. I'm sure you wouldn't remember our how do I phrase this so it doesn't sound wrong? The fun times we had hanging out here.
Yes, of course. I'm sure it'll come to me. Are you here for breakfast, or have you already dined?
We could use some coffee, but I think we just wanted to chat with you guys about just some stuff in town and see if we can pick your brain on local happenings.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, Rusty, who is the dude who takes all the bets for the hoist competition here normally?
Oh, Mervin.
Mervin. He's a good dude. I talked to him last night when Nerda here was winning.
Oh, are you the queen of hoisting?
Oh, well, yes, I am. And I flipped my...
Oh, congratulations. Tybalt
you.
had
We're
held
so
the crown
fun.
for quite some time. It's amazing he was unseated.
I hope he didn't take it too hard.
I haven't seen him.
Oh no.
Oh. Well,
Not a good sign.
that's unfortunate for him, and really good for me. But, so
Perhaps he's off honing his craft in an attempt to reclaim his crown.
when does Mervin normally show up? Just at like the late nights? He doesn't roll in too early.
Mervin isn't here every night. Mostly Temnata Luna, the week's end. When the crowds are greatest. I don't think I've seen him here on Luma. Why do you ask? Do you have business with him?
Trying to.
Maybe I can help you with that. I have some
Really?
connections.
I want to insight check that motherfucker. So bad.
All right, roll insight.
Oh god, it's a 7.
Just a 7.
It's a 7. I'm not a very wise person.
You're having a pretty hard time reading him. You imagine someone who tends bar at one of the 2 largest taverns in town would know many people.
Yeah, but he's too happy and eager. I don't know. You have me scared of trusting every person. Anytime
What
it's
kind
gonna be a
of
problem.
businesses were you interested in?
Well, the kind that can get us a little bit of coin pretty quickly.
How quickly would you say?
Not looking for any long-term jobs, but if there's anything that we could do in a day, any small jobs.
There is some need from some associates I have. It seems there is a minor crime racket starting up in town. Quite shameful, if you ask me. These people are dealing in illicit substances. Have you heard of fairy dust?
I have. Only recently, though. It's a problem in this town, eh?
It's a bit of a problem, becoming more so now that the town's guard are gone. These ruffians seem to be selling it openly on the dock streets. Very unfortunate. Many people have fallen foul of it. Some people have been swindled by them.
Swindled? Swindled in what way would you say?
Oh, not being provided with the product as promised, or being extorted for money, just generally roughed up, robbed. Bunch of hooligans, these types. Can't be trusted at all.
So you'd say the community at large would be pretty happy to say if some of those people saw some bruises on themselves.
I would say the community here in town would be very grateful and could perhaps provide you with some recompense.
Understood. Well, should we maybe...
Especially if you're able to return whatever contraband you find. While fairy dust isn't technically illegal, it's sort of frowned upon by society at large and should probably be destroyed.
Yeah, we wouldn't want that getting into the wrong hands.
It's true.
Okay. Now, how worthy do you think this would be from the community? If you had to put maybe some hard numbers to things, would they be?
Let me talk to my associates and see what they could manage for you. But if you manage to return much of the fairy dust, I can assure you that, depending on the amount, you would be compensated probably 1 gold per vial.
Okay. That, very fair. I think we can see to this problem, maybe.
They seized somewhere in the vicinity of 100 to 300 vials. Who knows how much is left by now.
And where would you say we should start looking for that kind of thing if you were just to point us in a direction?
These ruffians occasionally hang out in the market, but they're frowned upon by the local community. So, they sometimes make deliveries to the depths. There is some suspicion that it's Cliffies who are running this gang.
Interesting.
Don't know if they have an official moniker yet. They seem to be a fairly loose association.
Is there anything that other than the fairy dust themselves, is there anything that they identify themselves to others with?
That's kind of what I was saying. I don't know if any official moniker they have taken up themselves, but if you see people exchanging small vials for money, you've probably found your guys, especially if it's sort of where the cliffs hit the depths, or they've been seen outside of crosswinds a bit too.
Perfect. Wow. And you guys said that going to the bar early would be a bad idea.
No, I actually really like being at the bar early. It's cool to see them bringing all this fresh fruit in here. I had no idea you guys even had this kind of stuff here. Is this grown locally or is that shipped in?
All of the fruits and spices are shipped in. As you see, we have no way to farm here other than fish, though the sea is bountiful for that.
Wow, that's crazy. How often do you get that brought in here? It must be hard to keep yourselves stocked.
Fish come in daily. There's no reason not to. They're freshest that way, and like I said, plentiful. The herbs and spices and fruits once every 2-3 days or so.
Alright. So this is all brand new stuff?
Yes. I mean, I don't know exactly when it was grown. I imagine up to a week ago at most, but it's fresh.
Cool. Can I get one of those pieces of fruit? Whatever you think looks
There are
the
people
best.
like hauling in crates into the kitchen, and he just reaches back and like grabs an apple and tosses it to you.
Delicious. Thank you.
No problem.
Love fresh fruit.
Oh, your coffee is brewed. Like,
Thank you.
Sets down some mugs. Enjoy it.
Thank you.
Thanks, dude.
No problem. All right. Anything else you want to do today?
I'm good with going back because I don't want to start investigating too much without full group.
Yeah.
Again, worried
Okay.
at all points, leaving no strings.
You pass by Lost on your way back, who has just like a flask, and he's just sort of wandering the streets, like looking around, like, Syndicate fuckers, just walking around.
Gonna give a quick side eye. No? Yes? Okay.
I mean, you have the rest of the day. You can hang out at the guardhouse. Any of the files that Lordris has there are available to you. What little left there is. Alik is still there, poring over the cipher.
I see it, guys. It's all connected. See, look, this and this. Wait,
He's got this enormous,
that,
like...
and these.
He seems to have found a ball of red string somewhere and has, like... has all these connections between these, like, crude drawings of, like, rough shapes. It's
Good old
all
crazy
just...
person wall. Dig it.
It's all just gibberish to you guys. But he
I did
seems
send
quite
you a
enamored
question,
with it.
Aiden. I
Okay.
don't know if you can answer it or not, but it's basically the first line on this paper. So it's got like 2 characters, space, and then it's a big long string. Are there 3 chunks of characters there? Is it 2 chunks of characters and the line break just messes it up, or do I not know?
You think that these may all be different words? There are clearly spaces between words,
So there's
such
space,
as they are.
like there's a space right here. I mean, after this first long
That
chunk.
could be the end of the line. It
Or
could be a
okay, so I
missing
don't know
character. You're not
Alright.
sure.
I didn't know if that was a limitation of like the little index card size you used, or if that was okay. That's exactly how
This,
it would appear.
as you inspect the paper, you see it's like precisely sheared, as if the code was written and then cut around to be this
Okay.
exact size.
Now I don't know anything. I thought I knew something maybe, but I don't know anything. In real life. I mean, Alik also doesn't know anything, so.
Like I said, I mean, you could certainly try to figure this out, but I would be really, you've got to be like Einstein level genius or more to figure this out.
then it should be no problem for me.
No, that's me saying you can't possibly do it.
That's so rude.
Leek's
My
so smart
feelings.
that he forgot how to tie his shoes one time.
Okay, so we don't really know anything else about the shipment because it still sounds like just 2 to 3 days is the most accurate prediction of when a ship's coming in that we got.
Wait, shipment? That means. Then I just kind of trail off and like.
Guys, I don't.
It's
I don't
all
think
coming
we
together.
I don't think we should leave him alone again. With
I don't
that.
know. His decorating has gotten a lot
Wait,
better since
alone?
last time.
That's it.
I don't think it's it.
I mean, Lordris is here too, but he's
clearly
just
not.
like filing stuff and like poring over papers and writing in like a log like what's missing and what's still here and like alphabetizing. And every once in a while he goes and looks over Alik's shoulder, and Alik like has like a startled turn. He's like, okay, whatever. We'll leave you alone. It's like, it's this circle here. See this rounded edge goes into a 90-degree angle. You're like, it's just nonsense. Okay, Lost, as you're walking around, where are you going? Do you have a particular location in Port Greyshallow that you're wandering around?
The shallows are the poorer part of town, right? Or
Yeah, the shallows are inhabited by like fishermen and dock workers.
Uh-huh.
The depths are, some are like empty homes from merchants who occasionally come and stay in Port Greyshallow. There are homes for towns guard, and then there are homes for like business owners, and slightly upper class gentry.
Yeah,
The cliffs are like incredibly poor.
Yeah. I probably actually, I think I will wander towards the cliffs. Into the cliffs.
So, on your way to the cliffs, you don't see too much traffic, surprisingly. You take this similarly enormous dock from the depths over to the cliff sides, and there are some like quite impoverished people fishing off the side there where the water is slightly deeper, mostly like pulling up little rockfish between the rocks, just 5 to 10 feet under the water. As you wander around the cliffs, you see there are like gangs of children in sort of scuffed clothes, often dirty, sometimes playing with small implements like little makeshift swords or hoops. Sometimes by the time you arrive, it's kind of like lunchtime. They're sharing small meals with each other, or little bits of snack, little bits of bread and things like that. The adults that are there are like seem to be headed to particular places, but no one seems to be leaving the cliffs. They're all pretty much staying within the community. And you stand out significantly. You get a lot of side eyes as you walk around. You wander around for quite a while until lunchtime. Let's see. Ooh, okay. Yeah, around about like 11:30, 12. This gang of teenagers can be seen sort of walking towards you, and they're looking directly at you. They're a little tipsy at this point.
Yeah, so I'm just kind of. Actually, I'm probably just going to take it for granted for the most part. Kind of being like, hey, it looks like they're walking towards me. Yeah, they're probably not walking towards me.
There are a few humans mixed with dwarves and even a tiefling in there. And they approach you directly and stop you on the street, kind of like shove you as they approach. Like, hey, outsider, your purse now. And he like flashes a small blade at his side.
No. I don't really think I feel like doing
your
that.
Your purse now, I see it. Don't make me cut it off you.
I'm still not really super in I mean, no.
Roll dex save.
power strip.
There's a human kid leading the group who's talking to you.
Poop, because I'm pretty sure that's just a flat 8.
Okay. He lunges to try to cut your purse strings, but you definitely like dodge aside and like slap his hand out of the way. And in the lunge, he kind of grabs your coat, like in front of you here, and catches himself on you as he sort of falls off balance. The other teens like get in sort of a fighting stance.
Listen, guys. I've been where you are, and trust me, I'm not necessarily somebody you want to mess with. We can just part ways and leave it alone, or I can get mean. It's your
Roll
choice.
intimidation.
Want some Moronic Kenshin, okay.
That's a 19.
The human teen like pushes off of you to stand up straight. Yeah, we'll let you go this time, outsider. Next time you come back here, you better have something to share with us.
How about just
Like-
my winning personality? Have a nice day.
He spits on the ground in front of you and then like stares you in the eyes as they all walk past you. They like just barely break enough. Some of them brush shoulders with you as they pass.
Just like Lost to get in a fight with teenagers.
I didn't get in a fight with them. I diffused a fight with them.
I mean, you still kind of got in a fight with teenagers.
It was close.
You got mugged by teenagers, so of course Lost got mugged by teenagers.
All right, midday. Do Chance, Welgwyn, Nerida want to do anything different?
I mean, there's probably other stuff we can do besides just hanging out at this bar all day.
Didn't you guys go back to the bunkhouse?
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
Alright.
Yeah, let's look through some of the paperwork there and see if we can find anything that is maybe enlightening as to the Syndicate situation that's happening in town.
All right. Lordris seems kind of like annoyed, but because you're Silverblades and he's like a captain of the town's guard, he has no authority over you. So as soon as you're like, "Hey, let me see these papers," he's like, "Here." Roll investigation, everyone who's checking through things.
I want to go look for Lost. Make sure
Okay.
she's
You
okay.
roll for me?
Yep. Got you, girl.
It's an 8. 'Cause all I can roll is 7s today.
What's your bonus, Nerida?
-1.
Ooh, so 5. The paperwork is confusing, especially like neither of you have any training in filing any kind of paperwork at all. Nerida, while you were a sailor, you were largely like a deckhand or, you know, helped with rigging and like barely touched navigation and things like that, mostly loading, unloading, and doing menial tasks on board ship. Welgwyn, you're a career criminal, so you have virtually like the books you're used to seeing are like heavily coded and usually just manifests and debt, like records of debt and things like that. This is all a bit confusing to you. This is very formal documentation, although it's written with fairly informal language. You notice as you pore over the papers that the town's guard, as I said, use informal language. Occasionally some racist terminology is in there. Towards like tieflings and orcs especially, but sometimes even dwarves and elves. You're not sure if it's meant in good fun or like actually just overt bigotry.
I would like to edit the racist parts in red pen. I'm fixing your people's racist problems. You should be doing a better job keeping track of the way your people talk about other people.
Just make sure the sentiment of the documents remains.
Oh, I 100% know what all of this stuff means, so don't even worry about it.
He gives you this roll deception because that's gives you the side eye. Hey.
26.
He gives you the side eye momentarily, and then he's like, all right, she knows what she's doing. You edit the documents, you find mentions of Booker, you find some mentions of Borland. Borland, I don't know if you ever knew his last name. So you do find, like, what's effectively sort of a roster of the Syndicate. It seems to be headed by someone named Master Tylothi. You don't get a last name on that one. You find out that, let's see. There's a male human named Leonard. He's also known as Greenbrow. You don't get a last name on that either. He seems to be, like, closely tied to Tylothi, though their actual association is not quite known. Thorin Rockbreaker is a dwarf. You don't get any physical description on him, just Thorin Rockbreaker. Associated with the Syndicate, last name on this. Ugrok Tho. I'll put it in chat. Orlin Ugrok Tho. You also get, you find the most mentions of this name. Erla Race. Who seems to be a female tiefling. Known to be able to change her shape. Perhaps some kind of sorcerer or wizard.
Female tiefling who can change her shape.
Not a ton of info on her. Edgar Booker Doros as well. Who you're a bit more familiar with. Try to get their names right. Yeah, he seems to be involved in, like, the procurement and movement of magical goods. Although other members oversee that as well. That's kind of all you get. You don't really get a sense of, like, Syndicate activities. You don't know what ships they bring things in on necessarily, just that they tend to get things in port and then move them. Sometimes they go through the pit. Sometimes they skirt the pit. It's not clear how they're getting goods out to Thaura.
Okay. I'll kind of tell everybody who's around what I read.
That's Alik, who's just like...
Oh, right, because,
okay,
yeah.
Does it help?
Just try to distract Alik from what he's doing.
Distract.
Hey, buddy, let's talk about what I found in this book instead of that thing you've been staring at all day.
The book? Is it more code?
No, it's just names.
Oh, then no. It's fine.
Lost, did you tell anyone where you were going?
Nope.
All right. Chance, roll 3d6.
Yeah, I was about
Son of a bitch.
Here comes a hilarious time when both the tieflings get lost. Oh, shit.
Okay.
That's good.
Oh, it is? Okay. I forgot how to
Lost, roll 3d6 as well.
It's gonna be my luck that Chance shows up? I don't know.
No, this is... You don't know what this is.
Okay.
You don't know what the roll's for. Okay. You try to, like, inject yourself in some of the children's games as they're, like, you know, rolling a hoop with a stick down the pathways of the cliff. And it, like, rolls towards you, and you try to, like, knock it around, and they're, like... Just kind of, like... leave their hoop there at your feet, and you're, like, roll it back to them. They kind of let it roll to a stop, and then look at you, and you just walk by. As you look back after you've passed them, they sort of, like, pick it up and are rolling it around again after inspecting it just for a bit. Get the feeling that you're not super welcome here, in case you couldn't tell. And about the time you're going to head back, Let's see, what time is it? So it's probably like 13, 14, just after noon. Just after midday. You're like, screw this. No one here is telling me anything. No one wants to interact with me in any, like, nice way. I'll head back. You start heading back towards the dock that leads to the depths. And there, you notice a cloaked figure off on sort of a side path that's trying to get your attention, gesturing to you.
Yo, what's up?
Lost, come here.
Do I know you?
She uncloaks her head to reveal who you know as Alik, the agent from Thaura who worked with you to take down Booker and his gambling den. She has a large scar across her cheek where Booker cut her.
Oh, sure.
Quickly. I can't be seen for long.
And I'll follow her.
So, Chance, as you're approaching the end of the dock, you see Lost, and then he just kind of turns to his right, like says something to someone you can't see, and then walks off that direction.
What the hell? I want to try and follow him as best I can.
All right, she pulls you aside into like a little cove on the cliffside where the rocks just obscure you both. I heard there were silver blades in town. Is that you?
Yeah, where
Show me.
I'll show the tattoo.
She grabs your wrist for a second, and as she like presses into your wrist, the silver flickers and flashes. Okay. I can't talk too long. I have some information. I've nearly deciphered their cipher. I may be able to do it with just a bit more examples. There's a big shipment coming in a few days, but I'm not sure exactly when. I have a document about it. There's a date on it I can't read. Do you have more?
Actually, yeah, yesterday we checked out one of the former town's guard, and we found a piece of their coded document.
Who was it? I couldn't get into their houses.
Gregory.
He was working on the cipher. You may have a decoder, or what did you get?
Just a scrap, and we don't really know what. It's back at the bunkhouse. We don't really know what it says, obviously. But it doesn't look like he'd figured it out.
Okay. The cliffs are safe. At this point, Chance is like coming around the corner. You can hear mumbled tones coming from the rocks, although like you can just barely make out that anyone is talking as the waves crash against the cliffs below.
I'm gonna try and sneakily approach. 'Cause
Roll
I think
stealth.
It's gonna be hilarious to surprise Lost right now. Oh my god!
Holy shit.
You're quiet as a mouse. And as the waves crash below, your footsteps vanish into the muddle. You get full peeks around the corner, and you see Lost chatting with some woman with a large scar across her cheek and a cloak, large like gray cloak, the hood obscuring just the top of her head. You're not familiar with her.
Oh god. Well, I think Chance would take this time to jump out and as loud as he can shout, well!
Just as Alik is talking to you, Chance like busts out from around the corner. She draws a rapier. You didn't even notice.
Hey, Lost.
She presses it into your neck slightly.
I'm going to
Bit of
kind of
blood draws down.
motion to try to get her to lower her rapier and be like, don't worry, this idiot is with me.
Gee, why would you do that?
You know,
Chance, what are you even doing here?
just trying to hang out with my buddy. You know. Hey, man.
Hey.
She
Yeah.
lowers her rapier and like cleans off the end of it and resheathes it. It disappears under her cloak. Who is this?
You don't want to tell me to grow this facial hair.
This is Chance. He's with my party. He's a Silverblade as well. Show her your tattoo.
For now, the cliffs are the safest place. And the Syndicate doesn't have much power here. They tend to congregate in the depths, a little bit in the shallows, but they own most of the town now. Obviously, we can't be seen together. They still don't know who I am.
Didn't we see Booker in town? Or did we hear? Or was that
Haven't
something
seen him
Gwen
yet.
found out from her dad or something? Oh, no, we found out from-
I think Lordress told you.
Yeah, Lord. So okay. Well, you should. I mean, like, you probably know better at this point, Aelith, but I'm to understand
Aelith.
that.
Oh. Sorry.
Pseudonym or the fake name. That's
Alias.
alias. Fair enough. Well,
You're Silverblades now. My name is Kimura.
Kimura.
Sounds familiar.
Yeah. I will say that what we heard from the captain of the town guard, as worthless as he seems like he might be, nice enough guy, but we're to understand that Booker's in town, so...
Lordress has really fucked this all up. Most of the documents that were important to this investigation are missing.
Yeah.
Petty bits of information left at the guardhouse. It's pretty much down to us to stop this.
That's definitely the read I got on it as well. And I mean, well, as you may recall from the last time we met, I spent a lot of my time heavily inebriated, and I was still able to figure out that he really wasn't doing much of anything to protect this town. So, yeah, not really surprised whether they were all corrupt or not. I'm not surprised he lost his entire regimen.
They were drawn away by the incursion. That's Lithuria's cause for themselves. We'll just do what we can here. I think they're bringing more of that dragon fire. Probably fairy dust, probably a few magical items here and there. Scrolls, maybe wands, don't know.
Yeah, well, we've been hearing some about fairy dust. Dragonfire, you know. Well, I kind of learned my lesson the last time.
They're planning to use it for either. Mostly just been keeping low, listening to rumors, engaging with a few people, figuring out connections here and there. There's a man at Yoshimura's who's fairly connected.
Who's that?
I don't have a name on that.
Okay.
I don't know if he even works there or just is often there. Maybe he's a supplier. Sure.
Okay. Well, we'll keep.
Do you have a description of him?
No.
I do. So I know we have at least one new piece of information in regards to their coded language. We might have another. I have to check with the rest of my group because I think we recovered a piece at one point in time. If we could get you a couple more, do you think that would be enough for you to figure out when the shipment's coming in?
It would take some time. We should get them as soon as possible, but I'm very close to deciphering it.
Okay.
Meet
Well,
me here by sundown. I'll find you if you're in the area.
okay. Seems easy enough.
All right.
Chance, I still think we should go back to the bunkhouse.
Yeah. Oh, God, I was still bleeding, man. This doesn't stop.
Kimura, right?
Kimura, I'll see you tonight.
Yeah, we'll see you later.
Leave the way you came.
Got it.
Really quietly? Ha ha. It's not funny.
Bit
Okay.
quieter. Just glares at you. You head out from around this corner the way you came, and you look over your shoulder like Kimura turns away and just like vanishes around a rock.
Man, she's good at that. That was a good exit.
You know, I used to know a guy, crazy guy, living in the woods who kind of dressed like a bat, and he would do that stuff all the time. It was really annoying.
What did he call himself?
It barely spoke language, like any language. It was kind of like this low growl all the time.
Gravelly growl.
Forest is a weird place, man.
Tell me, man. You
To
grew
real
up in a
freaks in the
circus. I
forest.
grew up with a bunch of just crazy people and animals.
So I mean, essentially, it sounds like you also grew up at a circus.
Yeah, mine was just more. We weren't making money selling anything.
Yeah, so it still sounds like a circus.
Okay, fair enough. Yeah, let's go back to the bunkhouse. I need to see if we can get our hands on those syndicate codes that we've got. The new one we got yesterday or whatever, but I'm pretty sure we had one back in the day too.
All right, you head back to the guardhouse. Alik is there just like poring over these notes. He has just like this sprawling mess of papers with weird symbols and words written all over them. It looks like he's tried to match letters to symbols multiple times and like just ends up with gibberish and then tries like deciphering it into something else, like converting the letters to other letters or like connection to pictograph. He's tried a bunch of different things. And it hasn't quite worked out.
Alik, this is impressive. You get anywhere?
What's there? Oh yeah. So many places. A couple places were wrong, but I think we're right. I think that we're right. I think it's right. I'm right there, right on the edge.
Alik, did you think about reading it backwards?
Backwards. Oh my God, wait, no, I tried backwards. Backwards was the 76th thing I tried. Now we're on 742.
Oh, this is less fun than I thought it was going to be.
Maybe if I read it backwards and then forwards.
Hey, not to cut you off, Alik, but do you mind if I borrow that? I need to kind of take a look at it for a little while.
Don't need it. It's all in here.
Okay, good.
He has like several copies of the originals.
And then I guess who would remember? Maybe Nerida, since Alik is a little off his sorts. Didn't we pick another one of these up at one point in time? Another syndicate coded message?
Yeah, I've got two.
Okay.
Yeah. I think I have it.
Oh yeah,
I can pull it out.
I was about to say I couldn't remember who actually had it. So
Yeah, I'm pretty sure I have it.
Nerida, you mind if I grab that one as well?
Of course not.
It looks like actually where's what's his face? The captain of the guard. He around?
Lordris, Evan Lordris.
Yeah.
Yeah, he's like trying to reorganize papers that Welwyn and Nerida have been pouring through and altering.
So I'm gonna kind of pull at least Nerida aside because Chance does know what's going on. Chance, do me a favor. Will you entertain Alik a little bit? I need to talk to Nerida for a second.
I mean, I can keep this going for hours, but it
Nope.
feels really, really bad.
What I'm doing, okay?
Okay.
Thank you.
Well, hey, Alik, did you ever try putting up a mirror halfway between the letters?
God, you're a brilliant person.
So
Give me a mirror.
I'm gonna pull narrative to the side, and I'm gonna say so. I think I made contact with the undercover person in town, and it's actually an old acquaintance of ours, back from our initial run-in with the Syndicate. She's made some headway on the code, but needs a couple more examples to verify that she's gotten where she needs to. So I'm gonna go see if we can figure out when the date of this shipment is, because she's just about got it cracked.
Yeah, of course.
So let's. Right now, I don't know if Lordris is an idiot or if he's in on this, but I'd rather keep him at a distance until we know what's going on.
You catch him like looking up at you two talking, and then he like quickly looks back down to his papers and starts shuffling them around again.
Anyways, so I think I'm gonna go back out, but I'll see you guys later. Chance, if you feel like joining me for a drink, you're more than welcome to.
Chance, why is your neck bleeding?
I got stabbed.
You got stabbed?
It was my fault. So
I believe it was your fault, but why did you get stabbed?
Well, Gwen, do you want a drink too?
Sure. Am I gonna get stabbed?
No.
Maybe the blood means.
Yeah, I want to get away from him, so yes, I will come with you.
Wait, no. Before you go, give me some blood.
No.
Just in
Oh my
case.
god.
I'm pretty sure I'm out of blood, Alik. Let me check my pack real quick. Let's see.
Chance's
So
blood.
Just
Chance's
very
blood.
nervously.
Must be Chance's blood.
Must be Chance.
Cora
Chance's
comes
blood.
down from upstairs in her disguise, like, ta-da!
There I am feeding Alik my blood.
This is like a sitcom episode.
Alik just looks at her like black all around his eyes, like scribbling on some paper.
Well, that doesn't make any sense. That's just crazy. She's lost it, everyone.
Wait, why would my blood have to do with the... This doesn't make any sense anymore.
Just walk away from him. Don't look at him. Walk
Just
away
give me
from
your
him.
blood.
Don't give him
Just
your
in
blood.
case.
Don't give him your blood.
All right, I'll get it when you come back. It's fine.
Blood of tieflings.
Yeah, it'll. It's like they write the ink in invisible ink made of blood, and blood will reveal it.
All right, Cora, you here? No?
Yeah, I'm here.
Okay, a little after midday, you sort of like think you finished your disguise. It looks passable as a dock worker. Did you want to go anywhere or do anything with it? As you come downstairs, like Alik looks up at you with like, crazed eyes, and then it's like, well, she's crazy, and then looks back down and starts scribbling again. Everyone is here though.
So did anyone find out anything interesting?
Sort of fill Cora in on the notes, or that you met Aelith. Yeah?
And Ayla said the other bar was
Oh, Greg,
what?
you're muted, I think.
I said, yeah, but let's try to keep this on the down low there, Miss Cora.
Okay.
I want to
Aelith.
go to the other bar.
Okay, you go to the Crosswinds.
Yeah.
Like, head out the back way of the guardhouse. Make sure nobody's looking. Try to slip out in your disguise.
Yeah.
Or you like
Want
can
me
quickly
to
pull it off. You
roll
go into
a
a
stealth?
phone booth and come out as a different person.
Just spin around really fast.
Yeah.
Wonder Cora.
All right.
Someone's
Who's
gonna
going
figure
back
this
to
out.
meet Kimura?
I am
Myself.
Yeah, okay. I was gonna say I am definitely. I invited Will, Gwyn, and Chance.
And Nerida?
Nerida is welcome to. Basically, I invited anyone who feels like coming to get away from Alik.
Let's say you didn't invite me.
Alex got important dwarf things to do.
Under the guise of going out and getting
important
a
home
drink.
things.
No, thanks. Can't go. Too busy.
Wait,
Yeah,
alcohol,
no, we didn't
maybe.
invite you.
You weren't
Maybe if I
invited
get
to
drunk.
things. So sad you can't come. Oh no.
Okay, so Cora, you head to Crosswinds. Let me get that.
So I will say to whoever is with me, sounds like Chances for sure. I don't
I
think
am also. I'm there.
we probably all shouldn't try to go meet up with her because I think that'll draw a lot of attention to it, and she's being secretive. But we can travel generally together. I just might break off at some point.
Is she the one who stabbed you, boss?
No, she
Chance?
stabbed me.
He-
Yes.
So
okay, then maybe we'll just stand by and you can go meet with her, and then if something goes weird, we'll be there.
yeah.
We won't let her stab you again.
In all
I
fairness, it was Chance's fault.
Oh no, I super believe that. I know how tempting it is to stab him once you've had a couple conversations with him, and it just feels like it's for the best if he doesn't get stabbed. So I'll just watch him, and then we'll come help if you need help.
Yeah,
I'm sorry, you've never threatened to stab me before. What are you saying now?
I
Make
definitely
cooler
threatened to
heads.
stab you.
make cooler heads prevail. But yeah, I figured you would understand. Well, Gwen, thanks.
All right, Cora, upon entering Crosswinds, tabletops set upon retouched anchors dot the interior of this slightly more upscale tavern. The dry wooden stools and benches, mismatched but thoughtfully arranged, give the room an eclectic feel. Wooden walls bear murals depicting ships at sea, some beset by ferocious monsters, others blessed by schools of dolphins. The aroma of finely spiced fried fish mixes with that of wine and light sweet brew. Several people are in simple clothing, having a lunch with a drink, while a few folks in finer garments seem to be either discussing trade or else celebrating some recent agreement. Behind the bar is a roughly 5'8" female human, tall, slender, green eyes, long blonde hair. She looks a little familiar to you, strangely.
Guess I'll go up to the bar and order a drink.
Hello. I haven't seen you around here before. What will you have?
Just something cheap.
Tawdry ale it is. She turns around, like, gracefully, fills a flagon from a barrel behind her, and turns back and sets it on the counter. So, are you working any of the ships in port right now?
Just got off a long haul looking for my next job. I heard that there could be work to be found here.
There's always work down at the docks. The Major is quite popular.
Any way to make some quick money?
I'm sure there are many ways to make quick money, but I'm not familiar with them. You'd have a better luck asking around the market.
Problem is, I like to drink when I work, and not many places like that.
I don't think you'll have too much trouble with that around here. Many of the sailors and dockhands carry a flask. Get them through the hard day.
Well, that's very helpful to know that I will be in good company.
I didn't catch your name,
The
sailor.
market. Oh, a name.
Yeah, that thing people refer to you by?
Yes. I'm trying to think of a good name. Let's see.
I can help you
Is that
with
what you're saying to her?
You want to roll deception.
Think of a good one.
Not sure.
Believable, but not too.
You still appear as a halfling, right? You're not.
Yeah.
And
So,
are you presenting female
Francis
or Angela?
Waterlake.
Oh, okay. Are you presenting male?
No. I guess female.
All right.
I can't get
Still be
too
Francis.
far away from my sex with a 12 roll.
You could. Be okay.
You can do whatever you want.
You can
Francis
do whatever
is
you
a,
want.
Good it
is a
is.
lady
You could-
name. Come on.
You could be a lizard. It's fine.
Francis, guys.
I wasn't even necessarily thinking about your middle name in that statement. I was thinking about Francis McDormand.
Well, there you go.
Yeah.
Well, Francis, my name is Miriani Fabinia. You recognize the last name. I don't know if you can remember where. From Moontip.
Are you part of the famous Fabinia family? I believe we met your sister in Moontip. I met your sister.
Yes, my twin sisters. I haven't seen them in years. How are Tuluna and Mitunya?
They're good. Their business seems to be thriving for the most part.
What was it, something Arc? It's been a decade.
Would I be able to recall
You
what
would
it
be
is?
able to remember the name of their store is the Broad Arc.
It was the Broad Arc. Definitely served me well with their equipment.
Oh, fantastic. Are they still holding competitions in Moontip?
Yes, although unfortunately I was up against what? It was an elf and someone else and lost.
I think. Did Tevin win? Oh no, it was an elf. It was a male elf. That's right. Well, better luck next time. Those competitions can be pretty fierce, and Moontip has a lot of very competent archers. Hunters
Indeed,
out there are
but
top
I'm
notch.
still looking at for a place to prove my skill, be it with the blade or an arrow.
I see. Well, there are a number of sort of people who need protection in this town. Unfortunately, I'm not terribly familiar with them. You'll have to find that on your own.
No, there's no direction you could point me. Make this an easier search.
No. There's always work at the docks, loading and unloading. Perhaps someone down there could help you. I'll be right back. I have other customers to attend to. She slinks off to a table to take an order of some people who've just come in and sit down.
I'm gonna drink my beer and look out over the crowd, trying not to let my disguise face everybody, like keeping it in a hood.
All right. You blend with the scene fairly well. You're convincing enough. The crowds come and go. A couple people chat you up a little bit. Seems perfectly fine. Mostly dock workers and stuff like that. Let's then go to Lost and Chance, and is Nerida with you as well? I think so.
I think she said
Sure, sorry. Yeah.
That's okay. Headed to the cliffs. And is Welgwyn going as
Yeah.
well?
Yeah. Welgwyn's
Okay.
Welgwyn's joining because she needs to make sure that Chance doesn't get himself stabbed again.
Yeah, that's right.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah, on your way again, you notice, you're getting a lot of side eyes. Now that you're with more people, you see a few gangs of, teenagers or people fishing off the cliffs and stuff watching you. They mostly leave you alone now that you're a group of 4.
Okay, I
But
would want to
eventually-
turn into a big giant wolf in front of all these teenagers and tear them to shreds.
Eventually, you get pulled aside again by Kimura. She sort of just pulls you into a cave
Don't
after
stab me.
signaling to you. Do you have it?
I do, and I'll hand her the 2 scraps that we've got.
She looks them over quickly. I'll get to work on this right away. I'll leave a note with Lordress if I can tomorrow morning. Should have information on what I found.
Okay.
Time, just get some rest. Pretend to be the guard that you were supposed to be.
No problem. That I think we can do.
Really good at making it look like we're doing work.
But yeah, well, I look forward to your reply. We're definitely looking to, especially considering our mutual history with the Syndicate, I'm looking to do what we can here.
Yeah, I think Booker's in charge of this operation.
Yep, that's what I've
I
been
got a
hearing.
chance to meet him again.
Yeah, I missed out on that encounter. I was in the other room setting the building on fire. So, but this time I'll make sure to send him my greetings. So,
I both. She sort of like gestures with her scar.
okay,
Be in touch.
sounds good.
She slips away into the shadows of the cave, and you're like, where did she go?
Weird bat guy. Jeez.
Welwyn, can you do that?
I want to try to slip into the shadows.
Sure, roll stealth.
Prove that I am as sneaky as this lady.
Roll a 1.
It's a 20.
Welgwyn vanishes into the shadows.
I'm gonna pop back out.
What the
It's pretty spooky.
Well,
She's
there
not
we go.
the only sneaky person. It's not like she's special. So
Okay, well, sounds like if there's anything to learn, we'll find out in the next day or so. In the meantime, I think we should put on our best guard act, like we were.
Hey, wait. You want to see this, though? Check this out. I've been working on this for a little bit, and then I want to disguise myself as the same person from face-wise with the bow's robe, but with Lourdes's armor. Be like, check it out. Look
Wait,
at this.
what?
I'm a regular guard.
Oh, you're Evan?
Yeah, I want to be with his armor, but the same face as that one person I turned into a while ago. When
Oh, yeah. Weren't you like an old man, though?
Yeah, so it doesn't make a lot of sense, but whatever. Look at me, I'm a town's guard.
I think, people might expect Town's guards to be a little younger, but I admire admirable effort there, Chance.
I'm a new recruit. I'm putting in a lot of effort.
Yeah, you're a 50-year-old rookie.
Oh, I'm more than that, you youngin'. Don't you talk to me that way. Where's your mother?
Dead, thanks.
And I'm gonna drop it and go, I'm sorry.
Okay, well, what time of day is it right now?
It's evening now.
Yeah. So I don't expect I expect our welcome here on the cliffs is probably gonna get even a little less friendly as the evening moves along. We probably should head back into the port and maybe congregate. We could either go. We could go back to Yoshimura's if you guys feel like having another night out on the town, or going back to the guardhouse.
I mean, we could. I heard about a job from one guy about cleaning up some possible people dealing drugs around the cliffs. If you guys want to just look around for a second.
Did they?
The depths.
I was gonna say, was it the cliffs or the depths? Because I don't see a whole lot of fairy dust being dealt around here.
Yeah, they said it could be both. Some people thought it might be the cliffs. I know, people blame a lot of stuff on the cliff people here. You can't tell lost. If you're paying attention to the history of the town right now.
well, maybe we should do that as a whole group instead of on our own, just so that we don't get murdered.
Yeah, I'm just saying, before we go back, we could possibly
That makes
try
so
to see
lot
if
of
we can
time.
get up a fight. Get some stupid stuff.
Okay.
Knock up some dust in this town.
Tell you what, Chance. Real quick, but do it quickly. We'll stick around, see if you can find some fairy dust, and if we find a dealer, we'll crack some skulls, as I jokingly said to Alik earlier, which I think he may have taken seriously. Before he
You
cracked
remember-
his skull trying to get this cipher cracked.
You remember that Rusty told you the dealers were, like, near the cliffs, but in the depths. Maybe at the end of the pier bridging the cliffs and the depths. and also could be found around crossroads on the way into town. Or crosswinds, sorry.
Alright, some more there. Some more there. There. Got it.
Well, I'll just say, regardless of the location, yeah, Chance, if that's what you want to do real quick, we can do that real quick.
I mean, maybe we can learn what they look like so I can identify these guys later. I'm just trying to make our lives.
Hey, we have 2/3 of the group with us. I mean,
Sure.
I'm hoping we could deal with a drug dealer. We're not taking on the entire syndicate here.
That's a good point.
I mean, I've known some dudes that have some weird poisons, so we might need to be a little bit precautious, but other than that, we'll be okay.
Okay.
All right, you head to where sort of Rusty told you. Roll investigation as you inspect, just sort of like get a sense of what's going on around here.
Straight 14.
Anyone else? You're all
I'll
investigating.
look around as well.
Please, somebody help me.
It's a 9.
Investigation. Let's see.
I'll roll for Nerida.
Yeah.
What's your bonus on investigation,
3.
Nerida? Oh, it's not going to be as good.
Sorry, what was that?
Your
Don't
bonus
worry
on
about it.
investigation. Yeah.
Never -1, so
Yeah.
it doesn't even matter.
Look at us, the detective squad.
I can't be the smartest one.
You spread out a bit, and Chance, you notice some people tend to be like ducking in this specific alleyway in between manors.
Alright. Okay. I think I got an idea, guys. Hey, Weldwin. Come
Yeah.
over. Hey, come over,
I'm
Weldwin.
coming here. I'm over here. Come on.
Leave that man alone. I know you want the pockets, but come on. I think that alley over there, we're gonna call it Drug Doing Alley.
Oh, it's beautiful. You're really good at naming things.
I thank you.
I've long said that's your strength.
But I think I'm gonna go scope it, see what kind of unsettling type of people are over there, and if I come back with some fairy dust, this will be a weird time. But I'll be right back.
Wait,
guys.
are we gonna do the fairy dust? if you
No,
come back
dude,
with me?
shh.
Okay.
Maybe a little. And then I want to walk towards the what do we call drug alley? Drug doing alley.
Drug alley.
What you've just called drug alley. Very good.
Sure, you walk towards it, peer down it. As you look down, there is someone just sort of slumped up against the wall with their hands behind their back. There are a few loose, like, crates and barrels nearby, a couple pieces of equipment, just like rods, bindles, things like that. And there's another figure sort of walking away past them. The figure slumped up against the side, looks at you and goes, "Hey, looking for some?"
Yeah. Looking for some dust.
Yeah, how much?
A
3?
vial. Just a lot. Just one.
This one. 5 silver.
All right. And I'm
Yeah.
gonna give him.
He holds his hand out to you.
All right. Give him 5 silver.
All right. He signals down the alleyway, and a little kid runs out. And the kid like reaches behind the guy's back, and he just holds his hand out like this to you. It's right at his hip.
I'm gonna hold
Go,
my
enjoy,
hand
my friend.
out. Okay. This looks great. I'll.
Come back if you need more. This is good stuff.
Cool. Thanks, friendo.
You reach around the side of his hand and pocket a small vial of a white powder with glistening pink crystals in it.
Okay.
It's very small, maybe that big or so. It's enough for maybe 2, 3. If you haven't done it before. Seem new.
I've I've done some stuff, man.
As you're holding your hand up, your coat slips down. And his eyes widen. And he looks to the left and to the right and then just starts running. That's where we'll take our break.
Oh my god, I forgot I'm a cop!
10-minute break. We'll be back at 5:45 BRB.
boy.
He just says, "Oh shit."
Welcome back. When we left for break, Chance had just unwittingly unveiled himself as a member of the Silverblades to the guy who's dealing fairy dust, who was trying to shake down. And he booked it.
Oh yeah, I'm
I assume Welgwyn is still at the end of the alley, but isn't necessarily watching.
You're muted.
You're muted.
Like maybe peeking around sporadically just to make sure he's not getting stabbed again.
Roll stealth.
Don't roll a 7 though this time.
Ooh, that's only a 9.
You didn't roll a 7 though, you listened.
I know, I wish I had.
Alright.
Yeah.
What are you doing, Chance?
I'm gonna book it right after him and shout,
You gonna chase
hey!
him? Just hey?
Yeah.
Hey you! Stop in the name of the law!
No. I'm still just hey!
Hey! Alright. Welgwyn, you hear him shout hey, and you look around the corner and he's gone.
I'm just
Down the
gonna
alleyway.
run down the alley after him.
Alright.
Lost.
Lost, you're like on the opposite street corner and you see Welgwyn be like, and just go into an alleyway. Nerida too, you see the same thing.
I'll look at Lost and then start running also.
Yes. Same.
Alright. Roll athletics as you give pursuit.
Roll for me, please. Also,
Yep.
I'm proficient.
Oh boy.
Oh, thank God, because I am -1, so that's a 17.
I'm also -1, so that's a 2.
Well, I have a +4, but that's only a 6.
I'm like plus
Nerida.
8. I have like plus 8, I think.
Okay. Chance, as you're chasing, you like hear a like a big clamor. And as you turn to the next alley, you see the guy like tripping over barrels and like wooden planks and stuff, and he's looking back at you and just like scrambling to get up, and you round the corner, you're within like 10 feet of him.
Oh, yes!
Welgwyn quickly catches up to you. It takes you a second to round the corner. You kind of like lose your footing a bit. The dock streets kind of like shift underneath you as you run heavily across them. Welgwyn, much lighter, just like whoop. And also a little more familiar with with Port Greyshallow and her own footing, catches up to you very quickly. Let's see. Lost and Nerida, you guys are pretty far behind. You enter the alleyway just in time to see Welgwyn round the corner. Let's go to the next.
Can we see the guy she's chasing, or do we know?
No. You have no clue what's going on. You just see Welgwyn disappear around the next corner.
Keep going.
Yeah, keep
All
it.
right.
Keep it up.
Roll again. Athletics. You can try to do something else.
Roll
if you
for
want.
me, please.
Well, since I recently learned
That's a little better.
telekinesis,
Uh-huh.
I would like to just keep him where he is.
You're gonna lift the guy with your mind.
Yeah, I
Okay.
want to. Cause why not? Now you can, right? And he's made me realize. that
Can
I'm
you
much
just
too out of
lift
shape for all this
him?
running. Huge.
Probably.
responder.
Creatures or objects by thought. Blah, blah, blah. You can try to move a huge or smaller creature. Make an ability check with your spellcasting ability contested by the creature's strength. Okay, you can cast telekinesis on this guy. He's probably gonna have a bad time. What's your spellcasting ability?
Let's see. It says my DC is 17. Modifier is just +5.
Yeah. Let's also roll for your or flip a coin as well.
Oh, yes! It's been so long.
Let's hit F or R on it. Oh, okay, no effect. Yeah, so what do you want to do with him exactly? Just lift him off the ground?
Yeah, just like 5 feet off the ground.
Move the creature up to 30 feet, including upward.
Yeah.
So you can just lift him like 5 feet off the ground. He's like, what the? You can hold him there for 10 minutes, up to 10 minutes.
We need to talk to you. Also, guys, look what I figured out I can do.
That's scary. How long have you been able to do that?
At that point, Nerodon lost around the corner as well. There's a guy just floating in midair. He's like,
guys, look what Chance can do now.
What is happening here?
I just start clapping.
Well, Lost, when you have a well-developed brain like myself.
Will somebody boost me up so that I can look through his pockets?
Yeah, I'll walk up and do exactly that. Kind of.
I'm just gonna
all right, you boost
kind of
Welgwyn.
Hoist my halfling companion.
Let's see if he has the wherewithal to like try to stop you while he's being lifted.
Slap his hands if he comes near me. Slap.
No, he's like, what the hell? Why am I flying? He's not yelling, but he's clearly very upset. You rifle through his pockets. You find, let's see what you find. 13 gold total, which is a lot, and 4 silver.
No more vials of drugs?
No, he doesn't have any drugs on him.
So you got a bunch of kids running your drugs for you? Or no, I didn't see that, so I don't know that. Never mind.
You didn't see that.
So you have a bunch of kids running your drug for you, huh?
Oh, here we go. Let's let Chance try to be tough. This will be entertaining.
Oh my god.
What are you talking about? I don't know what you're talking about.
We literally just went through this. You just sold me this. I just saw it happen. Come on, man.
I never seen that before. I don't know what he's talking about. Let me down.
I need you to understand that right now, lifting you off the ground was nothing but an easy task for me. Think what I would want to do if I wanted to hurt you.
Can you spin him upside down?
I was going to say, is this a roll for intimidation moment for Chance now too?
Roll intimidation.
Yes.
Oh, man, I'm so happy because that's
with advantage because you're lifting him off the ground.
Nice.
Yes.
Well,
25.
good thing.
You feel like he was gonna insult you, but you were so intimidating. He's just like utterly cowering now. You already got everything, right? You took everything. I don't know. Just let me go. You need to get back.
Where do you get the fairy dust?
Gwemmer got it. Gwemmer got it. He put us all up to this. We're finally making some coin. I didn't know what else to do. The filthy Cindy's were after us, though. We needed to get rid of all of it.
So you don't work for the Syndicate?
No! Hell no. Filthy eyeballs.
I'm gonna high five him. Yeah, dude, they suck.
You he's got his hand down the side, and you slap his hand. He's like, ah!
I'll give him 2 pieces of gold back, but I'm keeping the rest.
I was gonna say, so if you're trying to offload of all of this because of the Syndicate, where's the rest of it?
Gwemmer has it. And the caves, in the cliffs. I can show you.
You can show us.
I can show you.
Okay.
Look, we
How
just
many people?
started yesterday. We took what we could, but they want it back. We had to get rid of it and get the coin. Make sure no one knew.
So you stole this from the Syndicate.
You're finally getting a piece of what's ours.
Aha.
Those are real stupid.
Oh, yeah. We're not exactly friendly with the Syndicate ourselves, but yeah, that's a pretty dumb move. So, tell you what. You are going
Just
to
trying to
take
get
us
out of the cliffs. You don't know what it's like there. You're outsiders.
Tell you what. You lead us to the cave. Actually, excuse me. Before we do that, what are we going to find in the cave when we get there? Are there others?
Gwemer should probably be there, but I don't think there's anyone else. Maybe Tristan. Look,
Okay.
they're no match for you guys, clearly. They'll surrender. I promise.
Fair enough. So,
We just wanted a little money. We just wanted whatever we could get.
I'm gonna
There
slip
it-
another gold back into his pocket.
yeah, I was going to say, Nerida, you got your, you still got some rope on you. Rope on us. But she's
Yeah, I have a lot
she's,
of rope. and
she's
I'm
the
also
one who
really
knows how to
good
do
at
all the knots. Exactly.
tying.
So
I'll tie 'em
let's
up.
let's restrain him, and then Chance, you set him down.
How do you tie the knots? You tie them up really tight, or you give them a little bit of slack?
Pretty tight, but not tight enough to like cause bodily harm, but definitely as tight as possible.
And we probably want to keep him on like
you're
a
gonna
like an
have to
effective
give him
leash.
some rope burn at least to get him like
Yeah,
pretty
that's fine.
secured. Okay.
Like not like I'm cutting off his circulation, but like, uncomfortable.
You're tying
a
up just
little.
his hands?
Do we need him to walk anywhere, guys?
We do. He's gonna guide us to the cave, so he needs to be able to move his legs freely.
All right, I do one of those ties where like his arms are behind his back and he has rope like wrapped around his whole torso to like his hips, So he can't walk as fast as normal.
It's like a mummy.
But
Is
yeah,
It's
and
a
then
rope
there's
mummy.
like a rope. There's like a rope, at the back where you can pull him around.
Okay.
He's also got a hop.
Give him a little leash. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, he's gotta like hop walk, but
Like he's
A
tied
little
down to the
maybe like a
knees, he
good
can
half
shuffle a
speed.
bit. Yeah.
yeah, maybe
Just-
like a good half speed.
Like he's wearing a real tight long skirt.
Yeah, or like a
Anyways.
straight jacket type of a situation.
Yeah. Okay, so this is just as a precaution. You lead us to the cave, and we'll set you free. Fair enough.
Okay, yeah. Just take the stuff. I don't want anything more to do with it. It's been a lot of trouble.
What did we learn about drugs today?
Don't sell them to cops.
Yeah, man.
Well,
Like, ask
we
more
haven't been doing this for
questions.
very long.
You straight up asked me if I wanted stuff. First of all,
Cindy's are a lot better at this. I don't know.
Don't worry, you will be fine. Just take us where you promised. Let's go.
He leads you to a small cave on the cliff. It's on the cliffs. Do you make a big show as you come out of the alleyway, or are you trying to
No,
like...
we're trying to keep this kind of under wraps. Like,
Okay.
honestly, I would suggest that the way that we
It's
walk.
good luck. Everybody roll stealth. Got this guy like tied up like from his shoulders to his knees, and you holding by a rope and like trying to drag him around.
18 for me.
I like that
Oh, for me.
Maggie had the worst.
Doesn't
I
matter
mean,
'cause
that mine's just a-
bonuses. Oh,
mine's just a
Nerida's
straight
is
14.
the worst.
Oh man.
Even with disadvantage, it's a 1. Okay. Yeah, so Nerida's holding the rope, and she's kind of like tugging it occasionally and making it kind of obvious, and her armor's like clanging around. So you don't create a like huge ruckus necessarily on your way to the cliffs, but a lot of people notice you.
Cool. How much? How much gold did you find on him? Oh, Wellwyn?
Well, I found 13 gold, but I ended up giving 3 of it back. And 3 silver, I think?
Fair enough.
Four silver. Yeah.
Okay.
Don't forget that silver. It's up.
Be very important. It's 1 extra shot of urchin spike.
Love it.
Yeah,
Oh,
he
yeah, I
eventually
forgot about that.
leads you to this cave. This is like a fair way into the cliffs.
Jesus Christ.
Can you roll for me as well?
Yeah,
21.
your roll is like
I got a
absolutely
plus
insane.
9.
Mine's just at 8.
23. Okay, so Nerida and Welgwyn, you notice as you're heading there, he doesn't make any gestures to anyone, and he's got his head kind of down, but his eyes are like shifting around, and he kind of like locks eyes with someone at some point, and they sort of like in the crowd, and they turn away and run off.
Oh, god damn it.
Guys, I think we should hold up.
It's just ahead.
I think I just saw him give a signal to someone. I think that we should be careful about how.
As did I.
Didn't signal anyone. I just know a lot of these people.
He said he's not Syndicate. I'm not too worried.
Then we should at least be very cautious.
And perhaps move quickly before that person who ran off from the crowd delivers whatever message it is.
True. Let's go.
Yeah, I think caution is probably a good idea here. But
So how do you want to proceed? Quickly or cautiously?
Screw it. Let's do it quickly.
You just start jogging.
If you just locked eyes with somebody and they're running off to warn someone, then it's probably in our best interest to get there as quickly as possible.
True.
Maybe you want to threaten him again and find out who that was? Take a dagger out? I mean, he's tied up, but
react. Let's just go to the cave. And as a reminder to you, young man, I'm gonna be like that. We're not gonna cut you loose until we see this cave.
All right. It's just up ahead. It's not far.
Mm-hmm.
So you move quickly the rest of the way. Brought to a cave lit by torchlight. Inside, there's a man rifling through a chest. Next to him is someone like, I told you we should have... They both look over their shoulders as you approach. They're here.
See, I said that he gave him the signal. I told you.
Yep, and you were right, Welgwyn. So, guys,
Always right.
let's...
What happened, Baldwin? It's like I don't know, they're silver blades.
Let's just make this easy, everybody. Don't really want any trouble. Never usually do. We just want all of your fairy dust supply, okay?
The one who is rifling through the chest, turns to you. He slams the chest shut and kicks it over to you. We're just trying to cut in on the Syndicate a little bit. If you're not Cindy's, then you'll let us go, yeah?
Yep, we are not Syndicate. Do me a favor, though. Welgwyn, will you check these guys?
Ooh, I love checking people.
Hey, that's not necessary.
hey, but also
We gave you the rest of the stuff.
Listen, we're not going to take anything. We're not going to take anything that we're not actually looking for. Okay? We're not robbing you. Don't
That's
worry.
a bold claim right there with a well.
We're not gonna take anything that we're not
I'm going to.
for.
You're already
actually
robbing us.
I'm actually going to look at Welgwyn and say, Welgwyn, we are not going to take anything that we're not actively
fine, but
looking
just because
for.
they're anti-syndicate and they seem like they're not in a great financial position.
Yes.
Whatever.
Thank you.
All right, guys, I'll make this quick. I'll, I guess, rifle through their pockets.
All right. Are you really looking or are you fake looking?
I'm looking for drugs.
And
You
actually,
can
any other-
answer privately to me if you don't want your compatriots to know.
No, I'll just look for drugs this time. But again, just because they're opponents of the Syndicate.
All right, roll
No other
investigation.
reason. That's an 8, so.
Flat 8, huh?
Yeah.
You don't find anything on them.
Cool.
All right, well, I think these guys are clean. Sorry
Chance,
about that, guys.
Chance, check the chest, please.
I mean, what if it's a bomb?
I just shut it.
Yeah,
It's not bombed.
Dude, it's not a bomb. Check the chest, please.
Okay. Cautiously open it up.
It is replete with vials of white powder with little pink shards in them.
Woo! I want to see if I can be very Rain Man-esque and count them quickly.
Roll intelligence.
Haha! That is a flat 17.
Let's see. How much is in here? Oh boy. You estimate approximately 230 vials.
Holy shit. How much did you... Was it 10 silver that they were charging you for a vial?
Oh, no, they charged me 5 silver, and the guy that we're turning these into... Yes.
No.
Right. It's
Wait, who are you turning these into?
5 silver.
We're not turning it
No,
into
we're
any.
bringing them back to the. We're bringing them back to the police. We're turning them into the police.
The police?
They
There are no
suggested
towns
they're-
guard left. You mean Lordress?
No,
mean,
we are
the towns guard.
We are
We're
the
bringing them
towns
back
guard.
to the official office.
So
This
they'll go to
looks
the
like about
guardhouse.
the amount of vials that we were told we should expect to find. So
We're gonna throw it in the sea.
Okay. Hey, everybody. Tell you what. Just to make sure, because we understand your guys' plight, and we are not friends of the Syndicate. Tell you what. I'm going to give you fair market value, and I'm going to give them 120 gold
Seriously?
in exchange for this chest.
That's very kind of you.
Hey, do you guys know how to pick pockets?
Roll persuasion.
29.
Jesus. You seem like you know a little bit about that yourself.
Yeah, I mean, I was just wondering because, like, you guys are trying to stand up to the Syndicate, and like, life seems like it really sucks here. Like, do you guys know how to do that? Or,
Hey,
like,
we do okay up here.
No, I'm not.
We just
I'm
need
not,
a little
I'm not.
help.
Yeah, I was gonna say I'll help you learn how to pick pockets if you don't know how to pick pockets. Honestly, it's pretty good business. And I mean, again, we are kind of messing up your day. So, if there's something, just a nice skill that you can think of me as like a cool thief mentor.
It's a real good thing that Alik's not with us right now.
Yeah,
Why
it's
would-
great that Alik's not with us right
Why
now.
would Blades teach us to steal?
Listen, life is like a complicated pathway where a bunch of random stuff happens to you, and then all of a sudden, you're a silver blade who also does other stuff. So again, this is a courtesy because I have left my criminal ways in the past, and look, I'm just trying to be nice because you seem like nice people who are falling on difficult times.
As
and it
I
helps take some
mentioned,
money out of the.
Yeah. As I mentioned, we understand what you guys are going through. Most of us have been there. And we were effectively conscripted into the Silver Blades.
Anyway,
So-
this whole town is basically Syndicate, right? So what, if you're stealing from the Syndicate, I don't care. Like you said, there's no other police around.
Wasn't paying attention much during the ceremony. I kind of accidentally did this.
So
Okay,
to
sure.
to follow up Welgwyn's generous offer, I'm curious if you guys could share any information about the dealings of the Silver Blades. The
Silver Blades.
or not the Silver Blades, excuse me, the Syndicate.
The Syndicate. They don't come around the cliffs much. It's the only reason we're able to operate a little bit, but once they find out where this stuff went, we may be in a little hot water.
I've been hearing lots of differing things about where they are actually operating, that they're kind of scattered, but is there any consistent places you guys might know?
It's all over. Where you caught Baldwin is one of the safer areas for us. We were pushing out a little bit. Mostly the depths are completely Syndicate territory at this point. All the major docks, even regular merchants are paying their way now in the last week or so. Even if they're not Syndicate themselves. It's gotten everywhere.
Do you know what
Well-
they're using to identify themselves on the street to each other?
They're pretty blatant on the street. Those fucking eyeballs are everywhere.
Yeah, we've seen at least one of them. So, tell you what, I will pay you guys good rates for any information you bring me that is also good. Excuse me, I can't speak right now, but I will pay for good information. So if you guys hear anything, I'll be wandering around. You'll trust me. You'll recognize me or any of my companions. But come to us with any information, and I'll make sure you're rewarded for it. And on the down low, because I understand no one's looking to make additional enemies in this town right now. But we're just trying to clean things up. We didn't mean any harm to you or to Baldwin, which is why I'm giving you money in exchange for this fairy dust that we're confiscating.
Also, all three of you, wonderful gents. If you happen upon any more vials, we can make a pretty decent arrangement of, giving you 30 silver a vial if you give it to us.
You stole this from the Syndicate, correct?
Keep in mind, Chance, that 30 silver is 3 gold.
What?
It's 10 to 1.
Yeah.
Oh, fuck, I'd have that backwards? Oh, whoa. Whoops.
So you might want to amend that statement.
Yeah, fuck that.
But aside from the pricing that Chance needs to rethink, you stole this from the Syndicate, right? Baldwin was saying something along those lines.
Yeah, maybe we did.
Okay.
Maybe
Where?
we found it somewhere.
Hey, we're not looking to give you guys any more of a hard time. We're here actually after the Syndicate, not you. So, anything you can tell us that helps us but just stick it to the Syndicate and help you guys out in the process, we will be very appreciative of.
Well, that sounds like some information that you might want to purchase.
I'm game. What's
Maybe you purchased that with the 120 gold you're giving.
Hey,
Purchase a lot.
I need my kid is sick. I need some medicine. Costs 5 gold.
okay. 5 gold. And that gets me the information I'm looking for.
Yeah, maybe we found it. We found it in Warehouse 13. Tucked in the back. Northeast corner.
Okay. Tell you what. I'm going to give you 5 gold right now. And if your information's good, I'll give you another 5. But I'll come back and find you, okay?
Okay.
And I will give that 5 gold over now too. Luckily, I apparently haven't been spending very much money because I have a fair amount.
Truckloads of money. All right. With that, you head out.
I think we should cut Baldwin free.
Yes, we should. If we haven't already, yes, we should free
All right.
Baldwin. As promised, we're cutting you guys loose, okay?
Okay.
Be more careful if you're selling drugs, okay? Don't sell them to Silverblades.
Yeah, look. Sorry.
No, you're all good. We like I said, we're allies in this against the Syndicate. Okay?
Now, let's keep that as rumors and whispers, okay?
Fine with me.
You should go.
All right, guys, later.
Yeah, so Chance, you want to carry that chest?
Yeah, absolutely.
Okay.
Clink, 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 clink.
As you leave, Tristan runs out behind you. He's like, "Stay out, Blades!" Spits on the ground. Like, "Stay out of the cliffs." He just gives you like the eye.
I'm gonna just wave and then keep on going. Okay, well there you go. So Chance, you let something. So you had told us that there was drug dealing that we were trying to clean up. You hadn't really exactly mentioned that you were looking to turn this back into somebody.
Oh. Yeah, that's the whole point. So, I found a guy that said he'd give me a single gold for every one of the vials. So do you see how many are in here? Do you know how much gold that is? It's 200 because I counted earlier. So
Yeah, so I can get the money back that I just gave them, and then some.
I mean, it's your fault that you decided to pay them. I never said anything up front, so it's kind of your loss. This is my whole thing, and you wouldn't have that job without me. So essentially,
Fair enough.
50% of what you already
But,
spent.
so,
What
hey,
I'm saying is you're getting maybe. Hold on a second, everybody. You get 50 gold.
Chance. That's fine. I actually don't want my money back. You know why? Because it's better to have friends in the cliffs than enemies. And if they're not with the Syndicate, then they might be useful in the future to us.
That's true. Also, are we selling this back to the Syndicate?
That's what I'm worried about.
Yeah, no,
Who the
I'm
hell
super
were you
scared of that.
talking to, Chance?
Yeah, no, I just put that together earlier that like this is a big problem, and I think I've really gotten us into some deep shit.
Cool.
But you know, I just talked to a stranger and said a bunch of shit that I was like down to do evil stuff as the.
We talked to Rusty at the half orc at
Yes.
Yoshimura's.
Yeah.
But I don't honestly know that much about Rusty the half orc. So.
He was slender. That's about.
Okay.
Well, yes, I know that. Thank you. Maybe we can figure out where you can like maybe go talk to him and see where you were supposed to do this. Just pretend you forgot to get that information from him, and now you're looking into it, and then we can see.
I'd do it back at the bar. I was supposed
So-
to bring it to the bar.
Bring it back
Pretty
to
sure.
him.
So,
Yeah, I'm pretty sure.
fair enough. So, how the hell did Baldwin figure out that you were a Silverblade?
Oh, well, I don't want to tell you this story so much, but I mean, like when you look at these vials, look at them. They're weird little colors and the pink little things in it. It's shiny.
And I can see the damn tattoo on your fucking wrist. Okay. Okay, so can I suggest, if you're going to turn this in, A, take Welgwyn. You're not going by yourself, okay?
Well, the other guy knows I'm a Silverblade. I told him I was a Silverblade.
Yeah, he might still think you're crooked because the Syndicate doesn't know you. You and Welgwyn weren't with us during our last run-in.
No, but the Syndicate does know me
Oh, they know
to a
Welgwyn.
degree.
Oh, yeah,
so
your dad, right?
Yeah.
Okay, well,
that
then
guy.
I guess
But
screw it. Let's go turn it in and get the money. Fuck.
We can steal it back again later.
This
We can
sounds
workshop
a
that
very
idea.
strange, vicious cycle.
If that information is good about Warehouse 13, I say we blow that fucker up once we have the
Yeah.
opportunity.
Yeah, I like that. I like to blow stuff up.
If they
I
also
haven't done it
have-
much, but
It's been a minute, but you know what? Once I blow something up, the Syndicate will definitely know it was me.
Is that your calling card with them?
Let's just say
Fun.
the guy who I am to understand is running things in here. His last place I blew up.
nice.
Did you get weaker since we met? I mean, what's going on?
I used to set a lot more fires before we got together.
That's fun. You should do that again.
Yeah.
All right.
All right, so
The,
you guys are headed back to the guardhouse?
What time is it now? It's because we were supposed to meet like what, sundown with Kimura.
You already met her.
Well, I know we already met her, but like I'm just trying to put the timeline in together.
It's like
It was.
early.
Oh, I see.
Is it late night? Is it? still-
Yeah. It's the sun is setting in the west over the waves.
I mean, we could walk into Yoshimura's with a whole trunk full of this stuff, but when I say it out loud, it sounds like a bad idea.
It does. So do you want to go there before we go back to the guardhouse? And one of us, I can do this if you'd like. Wait outside with the trunk before while you go in and let them know we've recovered what they were looking for.
Well,
Yeah, that seems like a good idea.
I mean, we could make ourselves look really good if we like show up to the guardhouse and are like, "Yo, check it out, Lourdes. We got all this dust off the street. It's so great." And then like the next day it just disappears. 'Cause then we get double credit. And then
I think the less that Lourdes knows about this, the better.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure Lourdes is a moron, but
He's
that
very
would be
stupid,
that would be
but-
real stupid.
come on. If he's an idiot, he's an idiot.
He's already like okay. So since we've been here, he's spent a large amount of time shuffling through things and like inventorying to figure out what's missing. You don't think he's gonna notice that this chest shows up one day and then the next day it's missing, and the only new factors are us?
Well, I mean, honestly, he doesn't seem like he's necessarily looking for missing stuff as much as he's creating.
I don't think
stuff.
we should tell him about it. I'm with Lost on this one. I think it's a bad idea. I think we should make this our private adventure situation.
Nobody listens to me about what happened when I found my pile of drugs.
Yeah.
This is true because
Look
you are
inside
also
yourself
a moron.
and figure out
Chance.
why that might be.
Hey,
Brutal.
I'm a moron that got this pile of drugs. And I'm not a moron that spent 120 gold on it.
Trust me, I have a feeling having friends in low places, well, Gwen, back me up on this one, will work out in the future.
Oh,
You know what?
absolutely.
You don't need to make fun of her height right now.
Anyways, so tell you what, give me the chest. Let's walk to Yoshimura's. Welgwyn, Nerida, and I will wait outside with it. You go broker the deal, and then we'll turn it over.
God, that's smart. Just dead.
Okay, Cora, what are you? You've basically spent the afternoon. It's approaching evening. You've been in the crosswinds the whole time. You've talked to some locals. There are a bunch of Syndicate members, presumably, openly come in, order drinks sometimes, and hang out for a bit. Just chat with each other.
I guess I want to follow out one of the Syndicate members that look a little bit higher up.
All right, roll stealth. Good.
I had a mouse here. Let's.
There you go. I got it.
Okay.
What's your stealth bonus? Oh god, it's the worst possible roll.
Oh no.
Plus 8.
Still not horrible. You manage to follow them for a while, but you get the sense that they know you're following them, and they start just leading you around the markets, checking out fish, laughing, and like sometimes they rough people up a little bit, just push it, people out of their way as they walk around on the streets, but they're not really committing any blatant crimes.
I guess if they're not confronting me or leading me anywhere, I will go out to the, the shallows?
Okay, the sun is setting at this point as you head out to the shallows.
Do they have a bar in the shallows?
You're unable to find any. It seems that most of the businesses are quite central, the bunkhouse being the sort of epicenter of the town. There are numerous businesses out to the southwest and a couple that, near the crosswinds and across from the market. You find a shop near the shallows called Nedley's Fishing Nook. There's a sundries store in the middle called Rope and Barrel. There is a fish cellar type place called Deep Blue. A place called Smoke Shack, which seems to specialize in smoked fish and other preserves. And then there's a smoke shop called Calm Clouds that sells like tobacco and other smokable products. Paraphernalia.
I want to go to the smoke shop.
All right.
Yeah, get some paraphernalia.
There are a couple customers checking out like pipes and hookahs and things on the shelves, or like smelling different bits of like rolled tobacco or what's it called, like soaked tobacco, like shisha. And behind the counter, there's a gnome with like curly white hair and enormous ears, fairly pale skin. Hello. Welcome
Hello.
to Calm Clouds, everything you need to relax after a long, hard day at the pier.
Yeah,
Let me know if you see anything you like. Yeah.
I would like to smoke tobacco.
Oh, what kind would you like? We've got some like drier, crisper, saltier stuff, or do you want something a little like fruity?
I like the fruit flavors. I mean, I enjoy a good hearty taste.
Okay. Thinking mango or mango coconut. We have some exotic flavors by good fortune of being on the bay. Having a lot of ships come in from the Concord and even a few from Tiberia, although that's a touchy subject, I imagine, at the moment. Here, would you like to try a little bit of this? Like, pulls a small wooden pipe and, like, fishes something up from under the counter, places it carefully in the bowl, and hands it to you.
Yes, of course. I am used to smoking things, and I put the flame right into it and burn it all up.
So there's
Start
no
coughing.
there's no even flame at all. He hands you like a little like fire starter, like flint and steel. And you're like, I know how to start fires with this, but it usually like on Tinder and in a campfire. This is gonna be a bit more difficult. Roll a dexterity check with disadvantage because you have no fucking clue how this is supposed to work. Oh, hey, still not bad.
12 plus dex, which is 4, 16.
16. After a little bit of time, you like your first spark goes on the counter and he kind of grins at you a bit. He's like, you'll get it. The next one right into the bowl and you sort of like look around. Have you ever smoked a pipe before?
No.
Okay. So you just hold the pipe up and he's like,
Oh, I'm supposed to inhale. I thought it was just something to make you smell nice. I didn't quite realize.
oh no, you put it in you.
That sounds odd. Why? Okay. And I try to smoke the pipe.
All right. How do you try to smoke the pipe? Are you just gonna like inhale from the end that's burning, or are you gonna actually like
Yeah, it's where all
figure
the
it out?
came from, right?
Okay, so you just hold the bowl up to your mouth. He's like, whoa, 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 hang on. Have you not done this before? Let me show you.
I am an experienced smoker. What do you mean?
Okay, maybe you can teach me something.
But perhaps a refresher would be useful.
All right, here. He takes it from you. The flame is nearly gone out at this point. He kind of like fans it a little bit and then takes a couple like quick drags to rekindle the ember and then blows a big puff of smoke and just has this like relieved sighing look on his face. Ah, yes, one of my favorite flavors as well. Here, got it going again for you. Take a try.
Thank you. This looks quite delicious. It seems after being on a ship for so long, I'm a little out of practice. Yeah,
Whatever
that'll
you
work.
say. Roll deception. He said something that makes less than no
Advantage
sense
because
to
of
him.
Because of my disguise. 'Cause I'm the prettiest.
What is that total?
No, I have a deception skill. 17.
It's like, okay, I guess. Strange to not have had any smoking tobacco on your ship. Usually,
Well, I broke
most
my
of the sailors.
pipe. There was a virus going around. We're not allowed to share things.
Virus. I'm not familiar with that term. Okay, whatever you say. Anyway, you take a drag on the pipe.
Yes.
It's quite good, very flavorful, reminiscent of mango, but you've never smoked a pipe before, right? So roll endurance check with disadvantage. Damn, still pretty good.
11 plus endurance. No endurance? What?
I would guess 0 for you, probably.
Yes, I guess so.
It burns your throat as it goes down. You like taste the nice mango and coconut, and you're like, this isn't so bad. And then it's like, oh, it feels like there's a fire in the back of your throat, and you struggle and inhale like a little bit down into your lungs, and then sort of quickly cough it up to the side. How'd you like it?
The flavor was nice, but it burns. It burns.
Well, maybe it's a little harder than what you're used to. Take it nice and light. Should I package this up for you? You can get it to go.
Certainly. Do you think it's what the men on the dock here like to smoke?
This flavor is pretty popular, but we have like a smoky bourbon barrel type flavor that a lot of people around here say puts hair on your chest like alcohol does.
Well, give me a pouch of that as well. I will
All right.
try it when I have cleansed my palate.
And you need a replacement pipe, I heard.
Yes, that is right.
All right. Here, we'll get you something real simple. It has like a little carving of a ship on either side of the bowl, and the what's it called at the front? The mass like leads out into the whatever the part you inhale from the stem. Here you go. Altogether, that'll be 1 gold, 5 silver.
Certainly. Do you take copper pieces?
Sure.
Well,
You're
I don't
paying
have
in like
it, so
only
here's
copper.
2 gold. So.
Okay. He gives you 5 silver change. Well, enjoy it.
Thank you. I plan to use it. Yes, use it. And then I'm
See
going
that you
to go
do,
back
and
to
come
our
back
fort,
whenever you need more.
Our home base, and brag to everybody. Look! I've learned how to smoke.
Everyone, actually, not everyone is there. Alik is there, and Lordris is there, and that's it. Alik is like exhausted.
Look, I learned how to smoke. Do you wave your pipe around?
Yes.
Okay, then I'm like, and I grab the pipe out, and I'm like, it all makes sense. And I like hold the pipe up against like different shapes.
Alik, that's my pipe. I paid for it. I don't want you handling it. Be gentle.
It's almost there. Almost there. And I just kind of zone out, like clearly asleep, but sitting up still.
Yeah, it's like spent an entire day of intense mental anxiety. All right, the drug crew heads to Yoshimura's.
That's the drug crew.
The drug crew. It's not super lively, given that it is what's it called? Luma. The evening in Luma. And no ships have come in today. Despite that, there are a few sailors at the bar having loud conversation. No hoisting going on.
Is Rusty still around? Is he obvious behind the bar?
Yeah, Rusty is there. Yoshimura is nowhere to be found.
Okay. I'm gonna kind of go over to the bar, make some meaningful eye contact with Rusty.
Hey, welcome back, my friend. It is good to see you.
Oh, you don't even know the half yet.
Ah,
So
I heard you embarrassed a few of the locals.
yeah, they were being pretty dumb, but luckily, I was able to take all those dangerous drugs off the street for them really nice and easily.
Ah, yes, of course, and I will be happy to destroy them for you. Do you have them with you?
I do. I just wanted to make sure, I didn't want to bring them in here if obviously. Is there a better place than just to the front door? I don't want to make it too obvious.
Oh, sure. Yes, we have a loading zone in the back for the kitchen. Just bring it around to the back. I'll meet you there.
Yeah, and just Rusty, real quick. Yeah, you know, you don't work for the Syndicate, do you?
Oh, no, of course not. I work here at Yoshimura's.
Oh, good. Yeah, because it'd be
Yes.
really unfortunate if you worked for the Syndicate after this point.
I can certainly understand that. As part of the Silver Blades, you would think so.
Yeah, it's funny because it's not true though, right? See?
Right. Yes. Well, I'm glad that you recovered these. The community thanks you.
Perfect. Okay, I'm gonna go look back now. See you.
Okay.
So, what I would like to do, because since we're waiting outside with the goods, and I mean, even if Chance is coming back, I'm now. Well, actually, never mind. Let's. I don't want to meta because Chance. Is Chance? You back outside, Chance? Sure.
Chance comes back out of the bar.
So what's the deal?
Oh man, I don't know. I think I fucked up. Worked for the Syndicate, and I just bluntly asked him if he worked for the Syndicate.
Why would you do something like that?
I got nervous. I was trying to be confident, and then I got really nervous in the middle of it. And this is what happens: words just fly out of my mouth when I get really nervous.
Well, what are they even doing with this stuff?
He's taking it back. I don't know. He's probably gonna put it back on the street. I asked as many
He
questions as I could.
he didn't tell you what he was gonna do with it?
He said he's gonna destroy it, but he said it like in the way I'm gonna destroy it, like Welgwin's not gonna steal stuff.
Okay, fair enough. Okay, then you know what? Let's get our money and then let's destroy this. Sound good?
Well, I mean, I didn't work out the exchange process of how I would give him the vials. Like,
Oh
I don't
my
have
God.
the money yet because he didn't ask me about how many vials I got.
Well, what are we? You went in there. You talked to the guy. What are you doing with the vials?
No, like I said, see, this is the part that it sounds like I'm getting it set up for a trap because we have to go to a loading dock because I specifically asked for it. But again, there might be a good chance this is bad.
Well, just take Nerida and Welgwin with you.
Yeah,
You don't-
I'm
you
never letting you do crime on your own. You are not good at it.
I didn't tell him how many people were here in total.
Okay. Well, yeah. Actually, that's kind of what I'm getting at. So.
That's the only good thing I've done thus far. Is not tell him how many people we had with us.
You telekinesis that guy. That was pretty cool.
That
So
was
if
pretty
they don't know how many of us are here, which is great, A, take the ladies. B, tell you what I can do is I can turn myself into a teeny tiny little spider and hide in this chest of fucking vials, and then wherever they take it to, I can either pop out and surprise them like a cake, or I can wait until no one's around and then destroy everything like we should in the first place.
That's actually a pretty good idea.
How about instead of turning into a spider, you turn into a ferret, just because it'd be way funnier.
They're gonna notice a ferret
A
in the
ferret.
box
They will
full of
notice a ferret
drugs.
in a box full of drugs. Yes.
I don't know.
Okay, Chance, you don't get to come up with plans anymore.
No, you
Uh,
don't. No.
I thought that you and Welgwin were more of a partnership.
Yeah, no.
It's clear you're her sidekick. So let's just let's leave it at that.
I mean, I think this was an important growth moment for you, and I'm proud of you for trying to do some crimes on your own. This is a big step, but I'm gonna come with you for this part.
You know, Welgwin, you taught me when you were saying words that sounded nice but were mean, and I know it now, and it hurts a lot more when you do it.
All right, well, let's go do this crime, dummy.
I'm going to wild shape. Actually, is anyone around? Like, I know we're just outside of this place, but
There
it's
are
late,
lots
right?
of people. Yeah, it's Yoshimura's. It's like the most hopping tavern in town besides the Crosswinds, which is just more upscale. They're about equal. There are people like coming and going and walking the dock streets.
Is there an alley or something that I can go down?
There are plenty of
Is there
alleys
is there a secluded
nearby.
place for me?
There are a couple of tightly packed vases.
Unfortunately, in the market area, there is not a lot of cover from the crowds. The stalls are closed down. You might be able to, like, duck into a stall, but you'll be seen going in there. If you want to get to somewhere where there are alleyways, you would have to go, like, to the depths, or no one's really been to the shallows yet except for Cora.
That's fine. Let's see.
It's gonna take you a while to get there and get back.
No, I know. I don't want to go back there. That's not what I'm
Okay.
pondering. Yoshimura.
There's surprisingly little seclusion out here on the dock streets. You get the sense that, like, people don't keep a lot of superfluous items or laying around, and the area of the marketplace is fairly open.
I don't know. I don't know if I'm pondering what you're pondering. Shut up, Tim. Well, you know what? Hey, I've got 3 people with me. Hey, guys, form a little human shield. Let me duck down.
Okay, I'm not a human, but whatever.
Yeah, I know. Well, Gwen, you might need to stand on the chest
Neither
to
of you
obstruct
are
me a little bit more.
Sounds good.
Nerida's the only human here, in fact.
Make a
the
Multi-racial
whole
shield.
party.
a humanoid shield.
There you go.
There we go. And then I'm going to wild shape into a little spider.
All right, roll
Tiny spider.
stealth
Sure.
with disadvantage. So you're just doing it out in the open mostly.
I'm covered behind my companions.
Yeah, that's not covered very well.
I do love that that was just a question. Roll stealth?
Roll stupid plan. Okay.
So that's just a flat 5. It is a stupid plan.
Okay. You think that a lot of people saw you transform.
But I turned into a tiny spider, so they just saw me like disappear.
They saw you like,
effectively.
woo,
Yeah,
disappear.
and that's fine. I don't care if people notice that.
People think it's pretty weird.
They would think it's weird. But
They
they don't know
would.
me very well.
They really would.
You don't know you very well.
Exactly. So
You guys ever wonder what Lost sounds like when he's this small?
I don't know if I can actually talk while I'm wild shaped.
You're a spider. They definitely can't talk.
Nope.
I
Only if you
believe
There are lots of talking creatures in this world. Okay.
you maintain your non-physical stats, but you can't
but
like
it
speak your
specifically
languages.
says
Yeah.
if the beast can't talk, then you can.
Anyway, so I can't talk. So
My point is, you're just as smart as you were, but you can't
yeah.
articulate.
Well, I was getting ready.
Talk
I was
about
getting ready to tell somebody to do something. I mean, like okay, put me in the chest, but I can't talk.
We can
You know,
assume
spider
that you
sign
were going to
language?
go in the chest, and
Yeah.
we'll put you in the chest.
Spider sign language. I
Spider
just
sign
need,
language actually
I need
incredibly complex. 8 arms at once.
Exactly.
Yeah.
It's all about. I just need semaphore flags.
No, I was about to say,
Oh,
Spider
God.
sign language definitely involves flags.
8 flags.
Great mind.
I guess 6 flags. You stand on 2 legs.
Yes.
Oh, God.
Do you put them in the
I'm
box?
going to, well, I don't know. First, I'm going to shake my hands closed a bunch and then put them in the box.
I'm going
You
to
rattle
bite
around.
Chance while I'm rattling around in his hand.
Ow. Feel a little nip. Put them in the box
Yep.
and close it.
It does 1 piercing damage, Tim.
Take 1 piercing damage.
And I think it's 12d12 poison.
No, those are the snakes.
Actually, there is a DC
Naga.
9 Constitution saving throw, but I don't think that's necessary right now.
You just choose to not inject the venom.
Yes.
Okay. All right. Well, I got him in the case. So,
And I'm gonna there's a lot of vials in there, but once inside, I'm going to try to kind of hide myself as best I can
So
inside.
the vials are not loose. There's several wooden braces that
Yeah.
like hold them apart from each other and allow them to be stackable.
So I trying to see, since I am a tiny spider, supposedly, see if I can kind of get in alongside one of the vials in its little holder area.
All right, you get in amongst the vials. This is a great plan.
So
now what?
I guess
Let's
Nerida
go
and
give this-
Wogwin, you guys hold back for a second. I'll go to the back and finish the deal, and I'll shout
Okay.
cheesecake
We
if there's
should-
problems.
We should follow the container, though, right? So that we can get lost back if something happens. I'm gonna follow.
That's
the
not a
container.
priority of mine.
I want to keep a lookout not only for danger for Chance, but also to see what happens with Rusty when he leaves, where he takes it.
All right, then I want to take the chest and head on to the back loading area.
All right. Rusty is waiting for you there, hands crossed. Like, that took a little while.
Yeah, I stumbled a couple times. I just wanted to make sure that I didn't break any of them, but we should be all good.
Okay, no worries.
I've had a couple to drink tonight.
Yes. All right, this is it, is it?
Yeah, and there's one thing I did want to talk to you about before.
Are you setting it down, or are you still holding it?
Still holding it.
Okay.
One thing I want to talk to you about before we do all this. I don't think 1 gold a vial is fair any longer. It's gonna have to be 2 gold.
We agreed on 1 gold.
Yeah, that was earlier and before it was tougher, and found out some things going on. So yeah, that's what the price is gonna be.
Roll persuasion.
Good, thank you.
With disadvantage, because it was not very persuasive.
That's the story of Chance right there.
Yeah. Still
Oh
good.
yes!
Ooh,
Look at this master
still
criminal.
good. Pretty sure it's the persuasion. Yeah, that's still 22.
Jeez. We'll give you 1 gold and 3 silver per. 2 is far too high.
All right, I mean,
And you didn't rough up those hooligans, so we're not paying you extra for that.
well, I thought we had discussed, that they were more problematic to the community, not just people down on their luck. But
Yeah.
1 gold, 3 silver.
All right,
That's-
allow me to count them, and I'll pay you.
There's 200 in there.
Very well, allow me to count them.
You don't trust me?
I need to give you an exact amount.
Yeah, I told you there's 200. I counted beforehand. Remember the stumbling? I was making sure.
Roll deception, unless you're actually failing to remember how many there were in there.
We're so bad at crime.
The fucking worst. Because you told me
There were about 230 in there,
Right.
but you didn't get an actual exact count. You just quickly looked it over.
It's just, I'm such an asshole. I'm sorry. I'm gonna try and be just. Why would I be deceptive?
I literally don't know why you're doing this.
So are you trying to lie, or are you just misremembering how many
just
there are?
misremembered it. There's 230.
Okay.
There's 230.
Allow me to count them, and I'll give you an exact payment. Set the chest down, and I'll go through it.
All right. I mean, just no funny stuff, okay?
Of course.
I'm gonna put the chest down and open the lid, but hold the lid with my hands.
He looks at you strangely, crouches down in front of the chest, and begins rifling through the things. Oh, how did this get in here? He whips a spider out over the edge of the dock.
Nice.
It must have crawled in there.
Maybe he'll survive. The ocean has him now. Keeps counting. Lost, you're like yeeted out into the water.
Nice.
Oh wait, this is the one time.
There appear to be 231. That is the two. One moment. Mm, 300 gold and 3 silver. I'll count it out for you here. Would you close the box? Since you're still holding it open.
Yeah, absolutely close.
Starts counting out 300 gold. He's counting it out in like fives. It takes a little while.
Going to be eyeballing the water constantly. Just.
Lost, are you trying to do anything?
Yeah. This is our first time really being around water. I don't think I have any prepared.
Does the spider have a swim speed?
No, just climb and normal.
You start sinking into the water.
So actually, I'll turn into a frog because that is I have done that.
Can
before.
you do wild shape to wild shape, or do you have to turn back first?
So the spider float? Because it's a very tiny spider. Surface tension, right?
Or we could roll dex to see if you catch yourself on your legs and float.
Yeah, I'm just gonna web out before
Sure.
before as I'm being yeeted to save myself.
Being a full spider.
Yeah, fine. Let's try that. Let's go with that before I worry about whether I can wild shape from one animal to another.
Okay. I think you do have to turn back.
I might, and I was just about to look it up because it's not clear. But if I have to turn back, then fine. I just turn into myself in the water. But
Let's see.
I like the fling a web to Spider-Man myself back to the dock. Spider tiefling myself back to the dock. Can you?
Okay, you do
You
not
ever really
have
tried to throw
turn
a spider?
back.
It doesn't really work.
You can throw a spider.
I know, but like a little tiny spider
Well,
would have been
too
better
bad.
off flicking me.
Yeah, they don't go very far.
Sure, he grabs you and flicks you. And you take 1 damage and turn into Lost as you hurtle through the air. No, he flings the spider. Yeah, you can wild shape into something else. Wait. That you can and can't do. Can't cast spells, and your ability to speak or take action that requires hands is limited capabilities of your beast form. Transforming doesn't break your concentration on a spell. Benefits. Whatever. Yeah, let's say you can just go from form to form.
Yes.
What are you turning into?
A frog. A tiny frog.
A tiny frog.
Guy, that's actually what I have. Is a tiny frog.
Start swimming around, and the waves are lapping over you, the evening waves. Alright. He finishes counting out the money, hands you a pouch, and says, the community thanks you, and I'll get rid of this for you. Takes the chest from the ground. And heads back inside.
Still gonna be looking at the ocean like. Oh,
So he took the
no.
chest back inside Yoshimura?
Yes.
Ah, nice.
Cheesecake.
Closes the door. You hear it latch.
Come on over. Hey, how did it go? Did it go wrong?
I think Lost is dead.
What do you mean you think Lost is dead?
He threw the spider into the ocean,
Oh, God.
and I haven't seen the spider. I can't see anything. It's really dark.
How far from the sea to the
dock?
dock?
Yeah, he threw you just over the edge of the dock street, so you're only 3 feet away.
Oh, cool.
He's fucking dead because of me. That stupid asshole.
Okay,
I-
we're gonna go check and see.
I'm
Okay.
gonna leap up as a frog onto the dock from my position.
All right, frog leaps up in front of you, Chance, as you approach the edge of the dock.
Jesus fuck.
And
That could be him.
and then I'm gonna turn back into myself and be like, dude, what the fuck?
Jesus fuck. Put some clothes on.
Yeah, it's all his clothes on.
We're having a sweary session today. So that didn't go as well as I had planned, but he did just take it right back inside, and I can turn into a spider again and just chill in the back of Yoshimura's and see what they're doing with this stuff. Or we could just bail and leave it alone for now.
I mean, we know partially where it's ending up now. So.
I mean, yeah, I know. How certain are you? I mean, I would have just turned back to myself, and then the whole thing would have been hilarious. Yeah, exactly. Yeah, how certain are you that this guy isn't on the up and up?
I mean, like I said, you're not in the Syndicate, right? And he said no, like the way Weldwin says to Alik, you're not going to steal anything, right? And she's like, correct.
But, okay.
So
Sorry,
you mean
Weldwin.
he's super, super honest and extremely convincing?
Exactly like that, see?
All right, well, I'm clearly just going to be attacked during this argument, so whatever.
I
It
don't
does seem
trust-
unlikely that a bartender is getting a bunch of drugs to just keep them off the street out of the goodness of his heart with no
Yeah, I mean,
connections to
Oh,
the
he
mob
also
in
was
town.
very mad that we didn't beat those guys up.
Yeah.
Forgot to mention that part, so that's Syndicate.
Okay. And you thought this whole thing was like just a good idea from the get-go.
You know, there was a lot of context clues that would have proven otherwise that I hastily ignored, but I'm learning. And together, we're growing.
Okay.
The rainbow appears.
Okay, well, if that's the case, I gotta know where they're storing this, because I'd prefer that this does just go away.
I mean, it can't be that dangerous. This stuff doesn't look that dangerous. I mean, come on. It's a little vial. Can't be a problem.
Why do you still
Highly
have some?
explosive?
It's the one he bought.
No, I know. I'm giving him a hard time. I know why he has
Okay.
Well, what do you mean? Why do I mean, we...
Well, okay, so if you wanted to make the money that you wanted to make, you could have added that to the chest and gotten a 1 gold 30 out of it instead of the 10, basically the 1 gold it cost you to get it. You could have made 30 silver more profit, unless you're planning on doing something with that chance.
No, I'm not. What? I'm not gonna... What? No.
I'm just messing with you. I don't really care. You can do drugs if you want. Anyways, Alik's not here. Somebody's got to fill in occasionally for some of this stuff.
Clearly, someone else needs to be a moral compass because this shit is bananas.
This is not blessed by Helm, this mission.
Yeah,
God, no.
exactly.
There is no moral compass. We're in the Bermuda Triangle on this one.
It's just spinning.
Yeah, I'm real torn because I do hate that stuff. And if they are indeed the Syndicate, I don't like that we just put it back in their hands.
Yeah, no, I really should have put that together long before we got there. But we did make at least like 80 gold profit. I mean, no, man.
We can still try to track down where they're taking it to and do a little bit of, some super fun bonding terrorism.
I mean, the place is this is a tavern. Seeing a random rat probably won't be that weird.
But we have to have a way to track you. Something that we can come back to following your trail. Because if you're going to go off on your own, we need to get the rest of the group.
True. Don't want to necessarily get caught up in a Syndicate hive on my own. I mean, I could just blow everything up. I am pretty good at that, but actually, now that I'm thinking about it, Kimura did say that they're dealing in Dragonfire again, which is exactly what burnt down the last place.
That's fun.
Yeah.
if you feel like you have the mental endurance to go for another shape and another run.
I definitely can do this at least one more time today.
Wild shape?
Yeah.
You can only do it twice a day.
Pretty sure I can do it 3 times. But let me check, because you could be right. You're smart
What
that way.
I'm reading only
Nope, you're right. It is
twice.
Oh, per short rest. But I can chill for an hour, and then I can do wild shape again.
It's true.
But then who knows where well, what time is it now?
The sun has set. Let's see. Where's my calendar? Yeah, the sun set probably about 2 hours ago at this point.
Is there anything nearby that's like climbable? Has any spots that might be difficult to see if you're exiting the pub?
Roll investigation.
Oh, that's a 7.
You're having trouble finding a place. You think you found a place where like you could get a foothold if you carve into the boards, but that might draw some attention and will leave a trace.
What else is in the like back alley near the like where he took
The dock street ends, and then there's just the ocean. Just beyond that, maybe 10 feet beyond that, the next dock street begins. And that is where there are some larger buildings. So there's literally like a 5-foot gap or so, where there are some other buildings that look like large manors.
So there's no like obvious hiding places.
Nah.
Well,
What
tell
are we
you what.
doing?
I don't know. What do you guys want to do? Do we want to see this through, or do we want to leave it for another night? We're gonna mess with the Syndicate one way or another. Doesn't need to be right now.
I guess that's true. At least now we know that, Rusty is involved with them, so we can keep an eye on him.
Yeah, and we're best bros now, so that's fun.
Yeah, well, you were really weird. You're lucky I was a spider, otherwise I would have yelled at you so much.
First of all, if you haven't been able to tell right now, I'm always weird. There's nothing that I can do to stop that.
From now on, Whalegwyn is the only one who's allowed to do crime, okay?
Thank you.
Never get to do anything fun.
Because you're bad at crime.
I know.
We
but
let
how
you do
get
something
better at
fun,
crime?
and you were bad at the crime.
I tried to learn.
That aren't crime,
Narita, even you.
You heading back to the guardhouse for the
Yeah.
night?
Yeah, it sounds like it.
It's getting pretty late. It's about time to head back. Cora, you feel Cora's already there. Yeah, so when you come in, Cora's like clumsily attempting to smoke a pipe and like coughing every once in a while. Alik is literally passed out on top of his desk, and as you open the door, he like
straight up,
he's sitting straight up.
eyes open, staring forward, but clearly passed out.
Yeah.
Hey, so what is happening here? This is. Are you smoking a pipe, Cora?
I'm more concerned about the fact that Alik appears to be asleep with his eyes open.
Honestly, I saw something weird coming with him. I am more surprised by Cora smoking a pipe.
I mean, there's nothing wrong with smoking a pipe. I love smoking pipes.
Yeah, but what's all that shit on Cora's face?
I think she had a day on the town today. It's better than what Alik got up to.
Yeah.
Well,
He goes and taps Alik on the shoulder. Like, hard enough to wake him up.
For some reason, I don't feel like this is the weirdest thing we're experiencing today.
I mean, I kind of like I look at them and like hold up my hands, like I'm seeing runes everywhere, and I just kind of look at them and I'm like, "You guys have been up to no good. I can see it. What have you been doing?"
Don't be crazy. You've been looking at that thing for too long. We've done nothing but
yeah, I'm
be
pretty
good.
pretty sure you're off your nut right now, Alik.
Oh, you're probably right.
How did he know? If we lie to him, we might actually be in trouble.
Okay, I'm gonna go.
Yeah, why don't-
read some more.
No, why
In
don't
my
you
bed.
why don't you just go to bed? Just get some sleep. Don't look at the symbols for a little while.
Yeah. I'm gonna use them.
He doesn't even have the paper anymore. I took that from him hours ago.
Don't need the paper. God, it's in here.
I know, Alik, that you've got it trapped in your head, which is why you should go to sleep.
Yeah.
Hey, Alik, did you see?
Maybe it'll make sense in the sleep.
Yeah, did you try to see if your pillowcase has any part of the code on it?
What?
If your pillows have any part of the code, maybe if you look really hard at your pillows.
Pillows are part of the code.
Oh
did you say
yeah,
that
the
to
the
me?
threading
Why
of
did
the
you say that?
pillows.
Maybe.
You're
Could
going
be.
to have he's gonna have a mental breakdown and it's gonna be all of your faults.
Okay, I'm going to bed because all this is just it's giving me an ulcer. Okay, guys?
You know what, Alik? I think he's right. You should check that out. Those pillowcases seemed weird last time I washed them.
Oh my god.
I
I'm
bet
gonna go to
they're
bed too.
connected. I bet
They're probably connected. You should go
I will
inspect
go
them.
and inspect them. Yeah.
See that? That's right. Just stir that pot. Stir that pot of confusion. Keep going.
Attaboy, Alik. He is guiding you upstairs. All right, everyone takes rest in the guardhouse. Lordris has prepared a pretty decent dinner for everybody who didn't pass out and go to sleep. So everyone eats fairly well, retires to the bunks, and in the morning, Lordris is up before everybody, and he has eggs and tuna scramble prepared for everybody with some basic grits and stuff. And he's like, found this under the back door last night. He throws an envelope on the table. And that's where we'll pick up next week.
The envelope making fun of Chance for being so bad at crime.
Yeah.
Truly
what?
terrible.
Not everything can make fun of Chance for how bad at crime he is.
It's really bad when you play a character where you're like, oh, I've got really high charisma. I've got to go be charismatic. I'm like, I don't know how to talk to people.
I don't know how to do this.
I
we
also
live
have
and we learn.
I don't have as high charisma as you, but that's. Hey man, I wasted our one knowledge quiz on how do you spell your name, so
Yeah. We've yet to go back to
Once so
Yeah, we should
far,
revisit that.
we don't know. It might be once a week or whatever,
All
I
right.
don't know.
We'll pick up next week with more Tales from Tawatha. Thank you to all our viewers. We love you. We had 10 or so. It's cool.
Nice.
It'd be great if you guys want to follow us up above. Click follow the channel. You'll get notified when we start streaming. We do this every Sunday, although that's been pretty spotty lately. That's been my fault. I'll try to get the YouTube up to date. YouTube link down below, and Discord. Join us in the Discord. I'm on the Discord all the time, and occasionally some of the other participants are there playing games or chatting or whatever. To players, love you guys so much. I'm sorry it's been so long since we played. I've spent a lot of time prepping this, and we've got some fun stuff ahead, fortunately, as a result. So
Nice.
I think next session will be real good. Chef's kiss.
I hope today was a lesson to you that you don't need to spend a lot of time prepping because we will waste so much.
Well,
time.
I
All you gotta
ad-libbed
do is
50%
dangle
of
just a
the
little
session
bit.
today or
I keep
more.
trying to tell him
So-
that, but,
Just wait
Um,
until we come up with some
It's
weird
pretty
caper.
stressful.
Don't worry, we
Don't.
can spend an hour hitting a dirt pit because we slightly
We did. We
Press the
smashed a divot in the ground for like
It's true.
10, 20
And
minutes.
then we'll miss all your traps and catch fire and spend another hour.
Yeah,
getting
it's
mad about
great.
that.
It's actually great. Yeah. No, I love today. Today was fantastic. Hopefully next time there'll be some more like main storyline and interesting stuff going on. And maybe
Hopefully we'll progress the story. Okay?
maybe Kimura has figured out a cipher.
So I'm hoping
And you'll
to
I
finally
don't see why that's necessary when Alik's got one.
And then we'll
All
find
right.
out the list with our names on is just like hot or not.
Yeah.
Has
Just
the
like, I think
button.
Alec's beard is sexy.
So good.
It somehow,
I
like,
know, what kind of
the
oil
lisp
is it?
comes through in the runes. All right, so we'll see everybody next week for more Tales from Tuatha. Bye.
Bye.
Bye.